have some from the some left over in the treasury, right? As well. Don't feel like you have to use everything from the money you got from the card.
I got 50k from the wish, so that's fine.
Yeah, I suppose it is a lot of money, isn't it?
I can res her.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have the stuff too.
Or did we want to start things off with that before we do anything else?
I would just have to take a long rest afterwards because the spell even says it takes a lot out of the character.
Takes a lot out of the character you're rezzing.
Oh, I thought it took a lot out of the person itself.
Nah, yeah, it's the target of the spell. I think, what is it, like it starts at a -4 to everything, and then every long rest, it reduces until it becomes 0 again? It's resurrection, right?
Yeah. Okay. It has to be a resurrection. I don't think anything else would work. Because it's... Larry's missing a brain, right?
Yeah, let me put it in the chat.
Ray's dead replaces lost limbs and organs.
So, I then think we need to... Are we going to wait for this penalty to become 0 again? Or are we going to take, like I said, it'd be 32 hours. Seems like a reasonable amount of time to ready ourselves again and head back in, I guess.
Well, you can't benefit from a long rest more than once for 24 hours.
Yeah, okay. Oh, right, so we'd need to spend, 4 days then to remove this penalty entirely.
Mm-hmm. And 4 days is a lot if you think about Keviak still being down there. Like,
oh, absolutely.
He could be anywhere within Undermountain at that point.
Yeah, speaking of, how do we plan to actually locate him?
Locate creature.
Yeah, I've got locate creature, I've got locate object.
Object at this point.
We've got a lot of unique magic items on him, so
yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? Like they could have completely picked him clean, killed him, and then taken all the stuff. So it's like I want to find the gauntlets of Gortlegrim.
Pretty much all that shit is only usable by dwarves.
Yeah. What about Dwergar? Do they count?
Absolutely not. They do not count as dwarves, you son of a bitch. That was fighting words.
Sorry, I meant no offense. Both in and out of character.
Dwerg's count as dwarves. Fuck is he on about?
Do we know of anything that Keviak might have on his person at all times? I mean, they could have stripped him, obviously, but...
Oh, I know one thing he has. That one ring.
Oh.
He absolutely has that thing on him.
What was his name?
Let me look it up. Like, yeah. I have it on my character sheet.
Naturally.
Duncana.
What a guy. so much love to give.
Yeah. Persistent.
Yeah, we gotta get Keviak. He's got so much loot on him.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna find...
party's wealth is on him.
Just gonna be like, we're gonna find him. He's gonna be like 6 low level, like level 1 adventurers. So just hit the fucking mother load.
Level 1, like a dwarf cleric or something, just decked in these like artifact like equipment.
All of a sudden, he is king of Undermountain.
Well, that was the shortest DC that I've experienced. Maybe it is Discord's problem and not mine, because it didn't actually disconnect me.
The Discord is giving me yellow ping for I think the first time ever in my.
Me too.
I'm all systems
Yeah.
green here, but still at 245 ping.
I think perhaps maybe it has changed the server because the Aussie ones are down.
I think this is a Singapore server anyway.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. I don't mind changing the server. Go right ahead. But like,
No, yeah, I'm not
It's
saying it has to
probably-
happen. Yeah,
probably a Discord issue rather than.
I think so.
Who knows? Fuck, I don't fucking know. I shouldn't pretend that I would know.
I can try changing it to Sydney, but that might affect Arctic.
Who knows?
It's not really important because I think it's not issue, right? Like you guys sound fine to me. Everyone sounds
Yeah.
fine to everybody.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Well, in that case, we have returned to the surface. Tragically, in some cases. There is a lot of blood on our hands, but we're determined to make things right. As we've mentioned, the first task of order is to establish a way to bring back Valeria from the dead. Difficult process, but one which is not outside our grasp. So, how does that happen?
I guess we just, if we're fine with it, we can either take her to our tavern and do it, or it's up to you guys. I just need somewhere where I can sit for an hour to cast this spell.
Troll skull.
Let's take
Troll
it back
skull
to-
sounds sufficient.
Troll Skull, yeah.
Mhm.
Out of curiosity, do we have anybody that like we hire to maintain Troll Skull, or do we just kind of leave it empty when we're not there?
We have Jay, who's basically the tavern keeper. I do believe we hired guards at one point, bouncers to be precise, but I have since forgotten their names.
They should be on the map if they're there. Yeah, this elf fighter mage, this dwarf bastard.
Oh yeah.
Cool. My character is probably here waiting for you guys. Just to note.
Sounds good.
Feels like it's been years since we've been back here.
It's been a long time.
Technically it has.
Still smells the same.
Yeah, I guess so. As you guys walk in, he doesn't immediately notice, but there is kind of sitting by himself, like just you know how I kind of like whenever I'm describing Keviak, I usually go to the like a dwarf version of the mountain from Game of Thrones. This guy is basically the dwarf version of the Hound from Game of Thrones. Just like he looks like Keviak's little brother. For no other way to describe it. Notably, one feature is that his head is just a fucking mess of burn scars. Like he looks like Darth Vader when he takes his helmet off, or Skullface from Metal Gear Solid. Like he was just obviously horribly burned at some point. And yeah, he is like Keviak usually, decked head to toe in fucking plate armor. He's got a massive shield kind of leaning up against the table when he stands up and turns around. And he's got what very clearly used to be a Zentarum symbol on his armor, that seems to have been kind of reforged, like covering up an old tattoo, into a different symbol. It's weird. Anyway,
I'm sorry, sir, but we're going to have to close. We've got personal matters to attend to.
he kind of like looks you up one by one, like ticking off people in his head. He says, "You the what's the name of our adventuring group again? The Gray Cloaks or whatever.
Silver cloaks.
You the Silver Cloaks."
Yes.
While they're
He
talking,
kind of like
I'm just gonna clear a table and just put Valeria's body on top of the table and just start casting resurrection.
he looks over at the dead body at the table, and then kind of looks around and doesn't seem to see the person he's looking for. He says, "You have you." He goes by Keviak, don't you?
We did.
I look to the ground. We have suffered many losses today. I fear Keviak was among them.
He just like slumps down on a stool, like just kind of devastated. He's like, that can't. How? What the fuck happened?
I'm not sure. We went into Undermountain and we walked into a den of mind flayers and their aberrations, and, well, we barely came out of it alive. We lost track of where Keviak is, but we couldn't turn back for it.
You just lost him, so he could still be alive then.
I'm confident a dwarf like that is very much still alive somewhere. And we do have the means to find him. And I think we intend
If
to do
he's my
so.
brother, I'm sure he's a tough fucker.
He's your brother.
Aye, it's a long story. He kind of extends this big gauntleted hand to Sanj, and he says, "Name's Fargrim. I'm
Fargrim.
Kev's brother."
Sanj, it gingerly takes your hand, shakes it kind of meekly. Well, it's a. It would be
You'd be the one that I call Sanj then.
That's right.
Forgive us, but Keviak never mentioned a brother.
Yeah, I imagine he doesn't know I exist.
I see.
Like I said, it's a long story.
Well, we have time,
uh,
and I point over to the ritual happening at the table.
Alright, gist
Sanj.
is, yeah, go ahead.
If I could have a moment, Sanj, I'll just walk away from Fargrim.
Yes, lad. What is it?
I never heard of Keviak having a brother, and he says that he probably doesn't even know that he exists, but what if this is some ploy by the Mind Flayers?
Have you that spell prepared? The one that removes the brain dogs.
I do.
I kind of side eye the new face behind Zevra and I. Perhaps he might be amenable to you casting that on him. Might remove any doubt of the aberration's presence here. But it is interesting, isn't it?
Even so, even if he isn't one of those things, we need a way to know that he's telling the truth.
I have no magic available to me right now, unfortunately. I'm still spent from the fight.
Well, I think we have some time. We'll probably have to take a day or two to ourselves to prepare to go back down, but I will cast my spell and see if I can't get to know this individual.
Good idea. I've got you covered. if anything goes awry.
Mr. Fargrim, we've suffered a lot today and we're quite on edge. I would ask that you allow me to cast a spell on you to make sure you are what you say you are.
Which one would that be?
A simple charm just to protect you from any sort of evil that might try to take over your mind. And I sort of gauge his reaction as I say.
First of all, he kind of seems insulted that like you're talking down to him, like he doesn't know what spell you'd be talking about. He's kind of scowling and he says, "You mean protection from evil and good?"
Yes.
Allow me.
Right.
And he waves his hands and casts protection from evil and good on himself.
Would I know that's what you're casting?
He busts out some holy water and sprinkles it on his forehead
It'd be an
and
Arcana
says the
DC 11.
incantation for the spell.
Okay.
What foul sorcery is this?
If you don't mind, I'd like to cast the spell myself. You understand?
If you must.
I cast the spell and then quickly jump back 5 feet into a karate stance.
Yeah, I'm protected, Fargo.
Fargrim now has like 2 beads of holy water dripping down his forehead.
You're one of those guys who uses 2 condoms. It makes it look bigger.
I dare a mind flayer to burst in here right now.
No, don't say that.
Feel
No.
any different?
Yes, I can feel the evil being rid from my soul.
Really?
No.
It's not a brain dog, at least. I turn to Sand.
That puts me a little more at ease. If you don't mind, Fargrim, we will likely have a few more questions for you over the next, well, I imagine, day. We will need to take a moment to rest and recover. Perhaps you might tell us how you came to know that you were a sibling of Keviak. I'm quite fond of the dwarf myself. I did not know he had a
So
brother.
I hear. Yeah, the gist of it is, I imagine you know the Zentarum took in Keviak as a child, right?
Mhm.
Well, what happened was we were both from a small village near El Terrell. That it was a complicated situation, but essentially the Zentarum were leaning on them for protection money, and when they didn't pay up, the Zents went in and burned the village. Our parents were killed during a raid, and as our house burned, Keviak made it outside. I didn't. We were both about 4. He was 5, I was 4 at the time. The Zents found Keviak, took a liking to him, kind of adopted him into the company. A second group of coming along to sort of scavenge the remains found me, and I got brought in by a second outfit. I had a sort of aptitude for the arcane that set me out from the soldiery, and I eventually caught Manchun's attention. Somewhat similar to yourself.
A dwarf mage. That's rich.
He fucking scowls at you. He comes back and he says, anyway, my aptitude was always more physical than purely arcane, so I got put to practical applications. Terrorizing, enforcement, basically heading any Zentarum operation that needed a lot of muscle. To be honest, I was good doing things like bullying orcs into raiding villages that didn't pay for Zentarum protection, but when it actually came to leading men, I wasn't popular. Eventually, I pissed off enough of my own subordinates that they accused me of treason before Manchun set me up for it, and I had to flee for my life. The assassins caught up with me. I barely survived. I got rescued by a cleric of the Morden Saman and, well, found gods. And they tasked me with seeking atonement by bringing down the Zentarum. They gave me a vision of a brother seeking the same thing. I tried to find you about 5 years ago, and to find out you disappeared off the face of the planet. So I've been waiting around Waterdeep, doing jobs here or there, and waiting for some sign of you again.
Well, I suppose it would make sense that you deserted the Zentarum, because obviously you know who we are. That must mean you know what we do. And it would truly be foolish of you to arrive here still tying yourself to that organization.
Yeah, I'm not that dwarf anymore.
You sound like your brother, if he is your brother.
Oh, he's my brother. The gods showed me what happened.
Hisoka, how fares the ritual? Do you need some help?
I'm fine. It's I would say, yeah, it's gonna take some time still, but I just get a pillow for her head or something.
All right, I'll do that.
Alright, so you enact the ritual, I suppose. How long will it take?
Takes an hour.
Right. During that hour, you are briefly interrupted by the sounds of the sounds of the city. Dogs barking, wagons overturning, and the occasional shattering of glass or people yelling. Sounds like another day in Waterdeep, I suppose.
I'll wait by as the ritual's being cast. Just see if Hisoka needs any help at any point. I'll offer him drinks.
concentrating pretty hard, but I'm also nervous because my god is the god of destruction, and I don't know how he feels about me resurrecting someone right now.
You're raising a born killer.
True.
Who is your god?
Talos.
Yeah, Keviak, as he says, is a destroyer. And Talos, while a chaotic evil entity, he is true to his portfolios like all gods are. And just as Mistra gives magic to the evil, so too does Talos give destruction. Yet you can't help but be disturbed every now and then by the sounds of outside. Smoke, or hear dogs yelping, or hear screaming. Maybe it's not just another ordinary day in Waterdeep after all.
I'll go out and prepare to cast silence on whoever's creating the racket.
You find people fighting in the streets without any intervention from the guards at all. And this is in the North Ward, where law and order is what we pay for.
Any bystanders looking on?
There's bystanders running. Some bystanders looking in from their windows or their balconies, but it just appears to be wanton violence.
I'll pop my head back in. Sanj, there's something going on out here. I might need a bit of help. Hisoka, keep concentrating. We'll be right back.
Yeah, do that. Just keep the noise down from the outside people.
Yeah, Fargrim will go over to see what all the ruckus is about.
Goblins,
Alright,
man.
I'll make sure nobody interrupts the ritual.
So how many people are fighting?
It's difficult to say, but it appears to mostly be goblins. Goblins are coming out of the sewers, bugbears, goblins, and humans as well, and they just seem to be causing a ruckus. Wantonly bashing people and smashing windows, and here come some guards getting into a fight with a couple of goblins and bugbears and humans. Maybe it is just an ordinary day in Waterdeep after all.
Is it?
Yeah, just your everyday race riot.
That's right.
Is it like fisticuffs at this point, or is it like lethal use of weapons?
It's a good question. Make an insight check. Yeah, it does seem to be non-lethal at this stage. Clubs and iron bars and big rocks, and chains, as opposed to daggers. Likewise, the guards are responding in kind, using batons and shields rather than drawing their swords or halberds. It does appear to be more like a riot or an out-of-control gang fight than, war or murder. A lot of destruction, a lot of Molotov cocktails, and big rocks being thrown. Yeah, this sort of shit does go on in Waterdeep from time to time, but it's normally confined to the dock ward or the field ward. Rich people don't have to put up with this shit.
I'll run up and yell out to the guards, "Do you require assistance?"
Always happy to have some help.
Right. I'll look back to Fargrim and who else has accompanied me out here. Shall we lend a hand?
I'll help with the wounded.
Alright, there
I'll be
are
right
3 goblins, a bugbear, and a human. Roll for initiative! No, don't really. Just tell me how you deal with it.
I'll see if I can scare them off with some fairy fire to begin with. See if that.
So show no fear. No fear.
Anyone daring to get close to Zevran will get a tase from a shocking grasp.
You knock him out with a tase, and like the bugbear is immobilized on the ground, twitching.
Ah, don't tase me, bro.
Argrim lines up a shot where it won't like set a roof on fire, but he pulls it up in one of his hands and launches a firebolt over their heads, like firing a warning shot.
They don't seem to acknowledge the near-death experience that you put them through. Being only like a goblin, that firebolt would have burnt straight through the side of their head, but it doesn't follow the normal goblin cowardice. It just keeps overturning carts and stealing apples and just genuinely being a fucking nuisance.
Am I able to knock them all like another out in the same fashion?
Bam, bam, bam.
Get back here, you pesky little green skin.
Yeah. And pretty soon you've subdued them. There's like 5 goblins on the ground, plus a bugbear and a human thug. The guards thank you, and they take a breather before they, go on to another neighbourhood. This is happening all over the city, they tell you. Race riots. I told you that we should have gotten rid of the goblins, should have hung them all. Yeah, but the council likes to have cheap labour for Keepers Guild. Yeah, well, that's short-sighted, isn't it? You don't have to tell me, Barry.
Who appears to be the guard in charge of this motley crew of them? Is there one that stands out?
Yeah, Barry.
Guardsman, please. I would exercise extreme caution with these goblinoids, especially if you see them running amok in the streets.
Your tavern?
Typically, a goblin would react much more hesitantly, especially seeing a bugbear like this full unconscious in such a manner. We believe there is much more danger afoot. You should instruct whoever is your superior. Rather than slay any of these fellows, I would have them chained up and removed as soon as possible. Put away in a deep, dark dungeon. For now. There are strange things happening. Close.
That we've been given orders not to kill them, just to try to suppress them.
Then carry on. Excellent. Thank you.
Is that your tavern, mate?
I believe it
Yes.
is.
We're defending your neighbourhood. Don't you think that we deserve a beer?
I'll go back to the tavern and ask Jay to prepare a cake.
Barry drives a hard bargain. Even though we had to come out and fucking help the guy.
Yeah, you got
Look, it helps to be in good with the cops.
Exactly.
go and fetch a barrel of
Are we
chocolate.
gonna become a cop bar? Is that trolls going on?
We're gonna start doing donuts and coffee.
That's like, every tavern has an alignment. That's like a lawful good bar. It's where the cops hang out. Maybe like a lawful neutral bar.
I'm going to lean towards lawful evil, but let's settle on lawful neutral. Alright, so Barry gets his beer, and he and the boys have a bit of a drink, kick one of the goblins in the guts, and move on to the next neighbourhood. Yeah, there's a bit of smoke on the skyline, not a lot, but there is a few spot fires started here, there, and everywhere, particularly the field ward and the trade ward, the dock ward. But it does appear that there's there's a bit of chaos going on in the street. But it can't be too bad because no one's told you about it. If it was a real issue, you'd be summoned to deal with it.
I fear these goblinoids are possessed as well.
Should we
I've seen
check?
the city like this? There's no point checking. I think we could be sure of it. Knowing wouldn't do us any good.
What do we do about this then?
I don't think there is anything we can do about it. We're we're not anti-riot police or something like that. We need to find the problem at its root, down below. And I
Precisely.
point to the.
We must rest and proceed as quickly as possible to solve the problem at its source.
I'm pouring out of the sewers like en masse. They don't like run up and attack dogs and people and rip their flesh off like some 1980s horror movie or anything. They just do what rats do and scatter. But it's so bizarre. It's almost as if someone's flooded the sewers and the rats have nowhere to go but up. But if that were the case, then the water would be coming up through our latrines and the like, and that's not happening. The rats just pour out literally by the hundred, just like spiders, baby spiders in a spider nest.
Well,
Maybe the worm got loose.
Here's the task for you, Fargrim. You're the muscly sort. Why don't you round up one of those? Let's have a chat to one of them. I think you might be right. Might be something more to this.
One of the goblins? Got it.
Catch a goblin, it's not easy. I mean, we've subdued a few of them already, so it's lying around in the sun at this point.
Yeah, just snatches one out by the scruff of its neck and hauls it over.
It's a little bit of frost on the ground. It's winter. There wasn't any snow last night, but there's still a bit of a chilly frost that is lingering. The fruit tree out the front of our yard has no leaves, just a bit of frost burn. Yeah, so you drag this goblin. Do you take him into Trollskull?
Is that where you guys want him?
Yeah.
Alright, yeah. Haul it in the front door of Trollskull.
You have caught a goblin. You get 1 XP.
Level
Flounder on boards like a fish out of water.
But it doesn't. It doesn't flounder. It doesn't react. It doesn't even resist.
I'll give it a bit of a slap, see if it's paying attention.
Doesn't like it, but it doesn't strike back or get aggressive. It doesn't even sneer.
Hey,
Or as his eyebrows. That's about it.
Wretch, where did you come from?
Is that you? Doesn't answer.
I cast tongues on myself. Where did you come from?
Its eyes narrow. You're confident that it understands you. It's just not answering.
Well, if you've no need of your tongue, I suppose we can cut it out.
It looks down at its own mouth and
And then I guess I could read its thoughts.
Well, let's try your method first, Sanj.
I pull Zevram aside quietly and say, I'm actually not capable of doing that right now. Sorry. I was trying to bluff.
Fargrim, let him go. I know someone we can speak to.
Fargrim's gonna try casting protection from evil and good on it first.
alright, he dies. And a dog with an intellect devourer pops out of his skull.
Fantastic, let's kill it.
It's dead. Challenge only one half
are you
creature against a bunch of level 13 adventurers. It's got 0 chance. One
of them got Keviak. One of them got Keviak, I'm just saying.
Yeah, one of them got Keviak amid 700 other monsters.
True.
Yeah.
Well,
So we can roll for initiative. Go ahead.
Nah, I'm
It's
just
not worth it.
I think we'll take the kill.
well, I think that confirms your suspicions and what we essentially knew to be true. I think
Hmm.
perhaps need to go down to the Goblin Markets, see if we can't find more information. Perhaps Groin is still down there.
Knowing that goblin, I very much doubt it, but I really do hope so. I was fond of him too.
In any case, we need to pass by there on our way down to Skullport. I don't think going the way we did last time is a good idea. They'll be expecting it.
Then let us lock and bar the doors of this establishment and rest. And then once we have gathered our strength, we can head for the Goblin Market. Fargrim, you would do good to join us. I think we could use you looking for Keviak.
Yeah, if you're
I think
going
we should
after
set
him,
up watches as well.
yeah, you can't leave without me.
I think watches are a good idea. I am prepared to take the first one. You should all get some rest.
Does Hisoka eventually complete the ritual?
He does. I was just about to make up, or I am just making up Pyra's token, getting it so that it will be the right size. I've already done Fargrim's. I guess I should probably do someone else's as well. Hisoka. We'll see if Hisoka has the right token. He needs to be enlarged as well. Replace his token as well. And I won't worry about Amara since it's not here today. Right, I'll just do a quick and see if this has worked. Fargrim, Hisoka. Not consistent, but I want it to. Yeah, that's good enough. Alright, Hisoka completes the ritual. Valeria, I can't even imagine what the afterlife would be like for you.
Yeah, not pretty thought for the average person.
No, I can't even begin to imagine what it's like. But the bearer of your soul gives permission for you to return to the land of the living. In fact, she doesn't just give permission, she demands it of you. And so you feel that you breathe again, but you've never felt so ill in your life. Lethargic, filled with pain in all of your limbs and bones. Double vision and constant retching nausea. You barely feel like you can walk, but you have been brought back.
Sit her up.
Easy.
Valeria, can you hear us?
Yes.
How are you feeling? Are you alright?
I feel like I just died. How do you think?
What? Well, yes, I suppose I shouldn't expect any different. What was it like on the other side?
Haven't you guys been to hell? That's the rumor.
He stares at you as you ask the question, looks down towards the ground for a moment before meeting your gaze again. What happened? Seemingly dodging.
We ran afoul of more than we could handle. Unfortunately, we had to retreat, and in doing so, we left behind Keviak to an unknown fate.
See. I remember vague depictions. I don't know what else to call them. Last thing I really remember is some small creature at my feet. Then everything went rigid for a while, and when are we
Yes.
departing?
Departing? Well, yes, we do plan to go after Keviak, but you need time to recover, don't you?
I suppose a night's sleep could do me a little good.
You look like you could use it.
Yes, let's retire for the evening. There's a bit of unrest in the streets, so you're welcome to my bedroom if you like. Should be a little bit more soundproof than the rest of this place.
I appreciate the offer, but you're not exactly my type.
No, that's
She smirks and lays back down on the table. This table's fine.
Right. Well, tomorrow we'll prepare ourselves to go down into Undermountain again. This time via the regular route.
Between the lot of us, I think it might be worth the following adjustments. I think we temporarily dismiss the guards at the front for now. We can't guarantee their safety. And I think locking and barring the doors and watching the place from the inside will be sufficient. We'll take watches. We should be wary of stray, possessed goblinoids trying to break in, as I think they likely will, as we are trying to rest. Who shall I wake to take second watch?
I'll take second.
Very well.
I'll go out and pay the blade singer 10 gold. You're dismissed.
He nods and takes it. I think I'm still owed wages for the past year or two.
How much?
We can deal with that later. I know that you have a
I
lot of
find it
men.
very unbelievable that he's not been paid in 2 years. But
Yeah, I'm sure Z would have taken care of it.
yeah.
If Z's able to. I suppose profits would be enough to pay wages.
Yeah, we kind of hand waved that shit long ago because it was
Oh my god.
dumb.
Alright, so your guards, such as they are, your staff disappear, and you will remain with a frosty window in a winter's day in Waterdeep.
It's not unseasonably cold, is it?
Not unseasonably, no. In fact, it's often snowing at this time of year, and there's no snow today.
So it's unseasonably warm.
Suppose so. Yeah, I suppose it is a little. But it's not like snow happens every single day of winter. Does it? I don't know. I don't live in a winter place that has snow.
Yeah, I forget you fuckers are Australian. You've never seen a snowflake in your lives.
I've been to New
We
Zealand.
get
but,
snow, yeah. I go to the snow every chance I get, every year.
Just shut up and let me stereotype, okay?
Fair. Alright, so you're just passing the day away? Or are
I think we
Yeah,
intend to
I
take
guess
a long
so.
rest, yeah.
Okay.
Do we
Well,
want to go back? Oh,
yeah.
sorry. Do we mean
No,
to go back
please.
tomorrow during the day, or do we want to rest through today and head back during the evening? It's not going to matter, as we're going to be underground regardless.
During the evening, I think we have a little bit of shopping to do. I'm going to visit Amara at the vaults and see if we can't get some magical items to help us.
Arctic, do I recall how long it took us to get down to Xanathar's lair last time?
300 steps.
Roughly.
Once you reach the
I mean-
staircase, it's 300 steps.
In time, so it was like less than an hour.
Oh, absolutely. How long does it take you to take 300 steps?
Me? Probably
Yeah.
about 300 minutes.
All right.
Zevran, do you think perhaps a wand of fireballs might help us? It's a bit of an extravagant purchase, but we might be able to use the firepower. Excuse the pun.
Right. Keep in mind there's a lot of confined spaces down there.
Hmm. Yes, I suppose you're right.
I think if you think you need it, then by all means, let's see if we can procure one.
I can do with that for now, I think. Something like that might be better placed at Dragonspear, eventually. Wishful thinking for now. It's okay.
So tomorrow?
Bit of
Yeah.
shopping today.
I'm just seeing if there's a spell I want to swap out, but I'm ready to fast forward.
No, I was just making sure we're going tomorrow, right? After one long rest, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, long resting into the evening and then going tonight was my understanding.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah. Great.
During the
Like-
evening. Yep. You go.
Go ahead. No, go.
No,
go,
no,
go,
I'm
go.
moving the scene on. So, like, if there's anything you
That-
want to do
It was after you were gonna set it, so you're good.
during the evening, once the worst of the resurrection sickness has worn off, the chaos has just been growing through the day. The guards are by now exhausted, running around trying to catch petty criminals. There has been incidents where they've ended up killing the invaders, and the inevitable then happens with brain dogs jumping around and causing even further chaos. The city is going to the dogs today. And at evening, shortly after you've basically gotten prepared to head down, you might be having a winter soup cooked by Z, or maybe some roast lamb, rich gravy, something warm and hearty. You get I suppose it's like a holographic message from the Black Star. She appears before all of you rather than just using a message spell to one of you. Silvercloaks, we need you. We need you immediately. All units of Force Grey are required to assemble south of the Sword Maiden. There's something going on down there. Something that the guards can't handle.
We're on our way.
Very well.
Valeria, if you're not feeling up to it, I suggest you stay here. Otherwise, come on.
I was gonna say Arctic. I mean, it really doesn't make that much of a difference, I don't think, but you can judge for yourself. Probably she try and wake up early as she can and move as fast as she can in her state toward a seedier part of town, and try and convince somebody to go into an alley with her and kill them.
That's
Or just
why
a
I
random
wanted
person.
you to, like,
Yeah, I
do
thought-
your thing before I moved on.
I thought you were doing. That's fine. I'll do it.
Too late
I won't
now.
do it.
Too late now.
Yeah.
Had your chance. All right. So, they tell you where the position is, and all systems are go. You get to decide what you're doing.
Yeah, it's not that far. It's like 3 blocks. So, I guess we'll head down Whalegond Way? Whalegond Way? Yeah.
All right, just walking down the street.
But power walking. You know,
Sure.
Hurried pace.
As you get closer, you hear an audible rumble. That rumble becomes a tremble, which becomes a tremor. You can see windows and shaking, shutters on shale tiles fall off roofs and smash. Dogs run away with their tails between their legs. And then the tremor seems to grow to the strength of a full-blown earthquake.
Looking at the statue as we near, is there any movement from it?
She's vibrating. She's like moving her sword as if she has Parkinson's disease.
Okay. I guess my heart skips a beat as I wonder why this is happening. And I increase my pace to a run.
Right. We will come in from the northern road, so I shall put your tokens down on that road before I move you across. Piece of 1. Yeah, that's right. No, it's not be right. But I mean, oh, because yeah, right. I knew I did something wrong. Okay. So as you approach the scene that you've been directed to, an intersection south of the Sword Maiden, the tremors turn into a full-blown earthquake. Some of the shanty buildings just crash in upon themselves. Although people have been wise enough not to let themselves be trapped within. You find yourself in a nice cobblestone alley, but an alley that is in chaos. No sooner have you arrived than that tremendous worm creature, which was harassing you down in the Xanathar lair, bursts out of the ground. And all around it, bugbears start crawling out of the same hole.
Oh gosh.
That thing has made its way into the city.
Let us be rid of it.
Oh, yes, Valeria. I forgot to tell you, we found a creature down there. And I point to the creature. So, did we get the benefits of a long rest or not?
Got a long rest in, that's right.
I need to just quickly check if the Quadrock regains charges. At dawn. Alright, never mind.
I like how you get a 24 addressed here.
Yeah.
It shows up as red because of the advance.
Yeah, I must have rolled a 1 on one of those rolls.
So, Drusty, you're in the middle of a narrow alley. These buildings are 2 or 3 stories tall. The whole ground is rumbling, and the neothalid explodes out from the ground below. Bugbears begin crawling out of the same hole.
Oh dear. Okay, because I was a little bit distracted. I didn't do anything in advance, but that's fine. Let's move 5 feet here, so as not to accidentally friendly fire anyone. And I start immediately.
Gah, 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 gah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's within range for Hunter's Mark, so I'll pop that on it. No poison bolts prepared because I forgot to do that, but ho hum. First round of combat, so I have advantage. Alright. 12 is not very good.
Unlikely to hurt it.
16.
Will be enough.
35 for the first one.
You get its attention.
27.
Yeah, that'll do.
28 for the second. And 26 for the third.
28, 26, so like 54, I think.
Yeah, I'll try and add that together.
All right. They are some pretty severe injuries, and it looks like you've penetrated deeply into the creature. Great gushing fountains of purple fluid pour out. In spite of the small puncture wounds that you've inflicted, they seem to have delivered quite grievous injuries to this monumental monstrosity.
Alright. And then with my movement, I'm going to move 10 feet. 15 feet. 20.
Wise.
My entire movement behind the building, basically.
All right, no worries. There are guards already here, clearly outmatched. You probably can't see them from where you are, but you'll be able to hear them. Probably see them as player characters, but as players, but not as characters. They're these guys with the little blue dots. So yeah, the guards try to engage the enemies, but they are sorely outmatched. Valeria.
I will hobble forward as best I can. Action cast Shadow of Moil around myself. That sandstorm, small sandstorm begins swirling around her. And I will bonus action cast Hexblade's Curse on the big boy.
Excellent.
That's it, I'm done.
Cool. Sanj, you can see the scene unfolding before you, a scene of terror.
All right.
Just realised how much it is like XCOM 2 where you do those terror missions. We're kind of doing XCOM Forgotten Realms edition, but this is really an XCOM mission.
The
Hey.
resistance ones?
The ones where the terror missions where like
Yeah.
Where the aliens just go to like fuck up the civilians.
that's
Hopefully they'll
pretty
ignore
good.
us in favor of killing the civilians. That would be convenient.
There's that.
Yeah.
Is this here? Is it a solid wall, or is it like a
3
ledge?
stories high. Yeah.
3
They can be
stories. So this is just
They can be a
like
balcony if you
okay.
want that. That's fine.
No,
Balcony.
that's okay. That just dictates where I'm going to be moving.
Sure.
All right. So staying put. I'm going to quickly reach for some lime, a vial of water, grab a pinch of dirt, kind of mix it all together, and then kind of say, I've been waiting to try this. I'm going to cast Flesh to Stone on this creature.
Alright.
So it's a con save, DC 19. If it fails, it's restrained.
Ooh, magic resistance.
Oh, it's fine. All right. Spell fails. That is okay. Drat. I move this way and I end my turn. Run next to a Drastia, like wide-eyed. Oh, by the gods. And that's my turn.
It's okay.
I'm going to cast Bestow Curse onto the giant worm.
It's a ranged touch.
Is it? Range of touch?
Okay, so I'm stupid.
Oh, I didn't know that about the bestowed curse. So, like, the idea that you can do it to more than one it's a creature anyway, right? Yeah, I didn't know it was touch. Alright, so, yep, doesn't work. Well, you can do.
So it's that kind of ruins what I was gonna do.
Call lightning? No
yeah,
worries.
with the channel divinity.
Alright.
So what is it?
It would be 30 plus
50?
yeah, 50. 50
Cool.
lightning.
Chuck a sphere down or a circle, a 60-foot radius, because we're going to need to know where it is, since I'm pretty sure it remains static throughout the whole battle. Cool. And is it 60-foot radius? 60-foot diameter? 60-foot fucking radius, my gosh. This is going to be absolute disaster, to be honest. Like, no offense, but it's like you're going to cause like $1 million gold pieces worth of damage with this.
It's controlled lightning. Like you command where the lightning comes down. Like, technically.
Yeah, valid point. Alright, so choose a point. All creatures within 5 feet of that point get smashed. Brilliant. And it was how much damage?
50.
50 damage. Goodness gracious.
He's using his channel divinity to the damage on a spell.
Perfect. The bugbear has a chance of surviving, but not today. The Neothalid has advantage. It's resistance to magic transferring over to the electricity. Dexterity again. I know I just rolled it, but I've forgotten already.
Yeah, dexterity.
Will a 3 be enough? That is a no. Alright.
And then I'm just gonna run behind this wall and end my turn.
Right. Why not? So I don't think I've got any 60-foot cones made up, fortunately, which I should have done by now, but yeah, these are not good weeks for me, so I haven't. 30 foot. Got one in another campaign, but I don't know which one. So I'll just put down a 30-foot cone and extrapolate from there.
Just draw lines if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that catches everybody but like the rooftops. Oh, there we go.
That's still probably not 60 foot, but it might be close. It's close. So, and Sanj and Adrastia aren't going to be hit by it anyway.
Would the
So,
wall
yeah.
that I'm behind protect me at all, or no?
It should give you advantage on your saving throw, because there is the ones that go around corners generally say it specifically. So yeah, it'll give you advantage on your saving throw.
Fargrim failed to save, but cast Absorb Elements.
Alright.
I'll use my inspiration.
Sure. 33 points of acid damage. 16 if you pass or have a resistance. 8 if you pass and have resistance. Might keep that around and make a 60-foot cone out of it. Alright. The Neothelid, having just absolutely annihilated this bugbear. Then again, the bugbear might survive. Suppose. Certainly possible. No. Alright, just slithers straight over its corpse and comes straight towards you. Yeah, there he is. I think it's only 30 feet. It is only 30 feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm gonna use an inspiration on my con save.
Sure. Hisoka, you hear a noise to your right. It sounds like a slithering sound. And when you glance right, your eyes are filled with horror. There is a mind flayer right beside you. It looks out the window that separates you, and wiggles its tentacles with clear delight.
His breath steams up the window.
Heavy breathing.
Notice me, Senpai.
Notices him alright. The tentacles extend around your head, go into your ears, into your nose, into your mouth, and begin probing at your eyes. Make an intelligence saving throw. And make a constitution saving throw as well. Or
Alright.
for your spell.
I did. Yeah, I failed the storm's gone now.
He's already
failed
gone, is it? Right.
And
Thanks.
I'm going to use my reaction to use Wrath of the Storm.
Perfect. Which makes a dex save.
Check the damage on that, because I think it increases with level, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. As far
Oh,
as I know,
okay.
it just stays the same forever. And it says
Right.
lightning or thunder, so I'm just going to choose lightning.
Alright, it creates a light show as he tries to eat your brain, but the sparks that you produce cause it to squeal in agony, yet it does not let go, and indeed tries to drag you into the building along with it. 2 of the bugbears are dead. The other ones they kind of ignore you and go up and hunt the guards instead. Guards that will soon be overpowered. Sevram.
Okay. I think I will try and deal with the major threat here first, and I'm going to just run up and attack it. I think So first attack. Bonus action, I will Hexblade's curse it, choosing strength. Then I'll attack it.
Ooh. An easy strike.
I will flourish on that with a defensive flourish. Cool. So 27 points of damage. My AC is 30 until the start of my next turn. And second attack.
Creature is being slashed and electrocuted to smithereens. It does not seem that it will pose anywhere near as significant a threat as it did in the laboratory. And there you go.
That's it.
And although while it might not pose a threat, we must remain cautious, ever cautious, for intellect devourers are everywhere.
Can move all the way. What the fuck?
Yeah, it can move. Yeah, 30 feet. It was only at the bugbear.
Oh, and what? It's moving through.
Yeah, like a tiny creature against a gargantuan creature. Come on, yeah, it just moves straight through it. All right, this one will be on Zebram. Tiny creatures can occupy the same space as medium creatures, let alone go. And on Valeria.
Cool. I am out.
Zebram is stunned, and the intellect devourer begins crawling up his leg.
Can it see me?
Are you invisible or anything?
I am heavily obscured or something along those lines. Normal people are blinded, essentially.
Creature is immune to being blinded.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Has blind sight. And it also has detect sentient.
Yeah, heavily obscured is the actual one. Anyway. I don't think I can actually win this save. Nope. I guess. Later.
And it looks like, what should have been a predictable result has caught us by surprise. Pyra.
So can she still see the one that's crawling on Zebram?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they haven't. They've consumed our intellect, but they haven't entered our brains. That's body thief. It's a different ability.
Okay, so she'll do an Eldritch Blast on the one on Zebram.
It would be 2 successful strikes. Hits it with ease. And blows it into so much grey matter.
Okay, and then she's just gonna run over there and end her turn.
Grim, your first day on the job.
Yeah, he's already having to save someone's ass. Seeing one of his new comrades drop from an intellect devour, he's quickly gonna sprint in and cast a protection from evil and good on her before it can possess her.
Brilliant. Before it can possess her. Yeah, good strategy. Alright.
Make her dumb instead of dead.
Indeed. The intellect devourer chooses a new target.
And Can I spell? That takes an action. All right, that'll do me.
Adrastia.
Oh, sorry. I'll spend my second wind real quick for 1d10 hit points as a bonus action. Apologies.
No worries. So he might not have gotten the message. That all right. Okay, Adrastia.
Oh, I think Loin may have dropped.
We've lost Adrastia. I heard the Badoo, and it didn't occur to me that it could be Adrastia. Of course, it is.
Yeah.
The guards fight back. They manage to kill a bugbear, but of course, that is not necessarily to their advantage. Valeria, you have been protected from the curses of Brain Dog.
Excellent. I'm still stunned, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're still stunned in spite of the protection from me. But when I heard the drop, I thought, shit, he's left the game again.
No,
Yeah.
that'd be dumb.
All right. Yeah, but you are still stunned, so I sadly not sure that there is many options for you. Sanj, did you see any of this coming with your intelligence of 20?
I did not foresee the result occurring so rapidly, I will admit. Turning the corner, I imagine I see the tentacles around Ahsoka's fucking head. I reach my hand out and grab him by the shoulder and clutch him real tight. Say, Ahsoka, are you with me?
Yes.
I will dimension door the two of us. Just there.
All right. From your angle, you can see a new adversary.
Nice one. Post that just
Let's
for
do this
consistency.
shit.
And that's the spell. That's the action. I used, so that's 10, 15 feet to get to Hisoka. So I'm then going to go, I'll go 15, 20, 25, 30, right behind this guy here.
Excellent. You're on the very edge of a ledge. It only drops down into the sewer, so it's only a 20-foot drop, but it is
Okay.
a drop nonetheless.
Sweet. No problems.
Ahsoka, you are out of the frying pan and into the fire.
I'm going to cast. I'm gonna use my channel divinity for the storm damage and cast lightning bolt at the Illithid to my right.
He also has magic resistance for what it matters, but it's not going to matter.
And it'd be so 8 times 6. I can't do math right now. 32.
8, 6 is that's 48. 48 lightning damage. Or 24 on a save.
Alright, so it's an extra 17 on top of that. Mind Flayer freaks the fuck out because the electricity almost fried it and turned it into calamari.
And the way I shoot it, Yeah, I don't hit anybody else. Yeah, because it's 100-foot.
No. You'll destroy this statue and you'll smash all of these apples, but that's about all.
And then I'm going to. I guess I'm just gonna stay right there, really.
Alright. The Neothalid has a plethora of targets. First of all, we'll check out its digestive juices. Not coming back yet. But it has some really great tricks up its sleeve. Including look, it's in hand-to-hand combat. It's not going to use any of its tricks the old-fashioned way. 1, Zevram, 2, 3, 4. Well, unless Hisoka won't be in range because it's only 10 foot range, not 15. No, it is 15 feet. Okay, so Hisoka is in range. 1. So 1 is Zevram, 2 is the dwarf, 3 is Valeria, 4 is Hisoka, and 5 is Sanj. Three is Valeria. That's unfortunate.
It should have disadvantage, technically, I think.
Because of protection from evil. Good call, but it'll have advantage because she's stunned, right? Yeah.
It still needs to make a wisdom save, I think, against.
That's Sanctuary.
Isn't that right?
Isn't it?
Oh,
I think
Yeah,
it's
that's
Sanctuary.
It just gives disadvantage.
Alright, so disadvantage, but advantage cancels out to be a normal attack. 17.
Yep.
Can't do much worse than that. 28 points of damage, and you are. You must succeed on a DC 18 Strength saving throw. Do you fail Strength saving throws automatically when stunned? I don't know. I don't know.
Looking up. Stunned.
Cool.
Creature is
I think it's
incapacitated.
strength
Creature
and
automatically
dex.
fails strength and dex. Yep.
Alright, you have been swallowed. Swallowed
Nice.
creature, blind and restrained, has total cover and takes 10d6 damage at the start of each of the Neolithid's turn. Alright. Valeria has been swallowed whole. This Mind Flayer in front of you, he is not sticking around. That was an incredible lightning bolt. He didn't come here to die, and so he uses plane shift to get the fuck out of it. This Mind Flayer, however, feels that he is in a position of strength and moves forward to take on. I forgot about Adrastia. I'll give her a go immediately after this one. Mind Flayer moves in to try to engulf Pyra. Loving the fact that he's in hand-to-hand combat, he uses his tentacles to try to extract her brain, but she's too agile. Just as Soka takes a breath of fresh air, a breather, relaxes for even just a moment, he realizes that he has no time to relax at all. There are not 1 or 2, but 3 Mind Flayers here. It uses Dominate Monster on Hisoka.
There's another one.
Does Dominate Monster work on humanoids?
Works on absolutely everything.
Wow.
It targets a creature, yeah.
Well, don't fail the save.
What? What's the save?
Dominate, be a wisdom, I'd say.
Wisdom.
But your will is too strong, causing the Mind Flayer to gaze upon you with astonishment and a kind of hunger that makes you feel like a guinea pig or a little lab rat ready to run through a maze for somebody else's scientific study. The bugbears fight on. One of them rushing towards Hisoka and just getting in his face and being mightily annoying. There we go. But it's a feeble blow. Seems that while its strength may have been passed on, the intellect devourer is unable to coordinate its movements like some big flesh puppet.
I'm going to use my reaction with Wrath of the Storm.
Right. Dexterity saving throw from our friend the bugbear. He's racked with pain and yet doesn't show it, doesn't even flinch. Are you stunned, Zevran?
I think he is at the moment, yeah.
Unless he's gaining intellect, yeah, he is.
Intellect Devourer, the one that still remains, the one that took out Valeria, moves in to take lead. Adrastia, you finally take your go. I keep telling you that you can have a go and never actually give it to you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's gonna make a big difference here. Seeing the Mind Flayer go for Pyra, I'm gonna push past her and try and engage it in close combat. I'm gonna fire one shot into the Flayer.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. For 25 damage.
Each.
And then spy the Intellect Devourer hopping towards Zevram, and turn my crossbow and fire past the Flayer at the Intellect Devourer instead.
Alright, the Intellect Devourer, the Fire thinks that you missed it. You foolish woman.
21 damage.
But instead, you incapacitate the brain dog with a precision strike just enough to sever the cortex.
Honestly, the bigger threat.
Honestly. Bigger than the near
I mean, yeah. Valeria might disagree, but.
Well, yeah.
But then again, she's only in that position because of it anyway. Like, these things are nasty.
They are the worst. Alright.
Lithids, man, not even once.
We have a stunned Zevram. We have no Intellect Devourers. Pyra.
She will cast Crown of Stars. And is she allowed because it's an action to cast it, and then can she do it in the same turn as a bonus action to launch it at the Lithid?
Pretty sure, yeah.
It does a
Yeah,
17.
I think that's the idea that you get to.
Okay, it does a
you get to do it.
17.
Yeah.
Okay.
It will, yeah, that's right. It took. How much did it take from Adrastia? 25? Yeah, I think it was 25. Yeah, it was. 25 and 24 is now 49. The Elithid is looking grievously injured almost immediately, and a look of terror passes over its mauve face, turning it almost bleach white.
Guess they do feel fear.
Certainly do. They are highly selfish creatures.
And that's the end of her turn.
Fargrim Boulder.
He is going to take a couple deep breaths and cast haste on himself.
Brilliant.
And then make one attack on the Elithid. Or no,
Excellent.
the worm thing.
The Neo.
Oof.
But you have little of the strength of your brother, and your flail bounces off its rubbery skin. So yeah, you're up again.
Alright. Well, delighting in the Mind Flayer's change of color. I'm gonna finish it off. Or at least try. Well, 27 should do it.
Will
29 more points of damage.
you watch it plane shift before your eyes, but before it can complete the ritual, before it can do a circle around itself with magic, or psionics, you execute it, and half its body teleports away and half remains in place.
Alright, I'll take a step forward, step on its body, and fire a third shot at the Neolithid.
Alright,
Just squelch with the
that'll
boot.
do. You puncture its skin like a tire. Which is probably an analogy your character doesn't understand. Alright, the Neothalid is looking quite injured at this point, mostly from Adrasty, but certainly also from Hisoka as well. And the contributions of the rest of you have, I was going to say have not hurt, but that's the point, they have hurt. It's good. In any case, the Neothalid is beginning to slow, as if its blood loss has been massive. The guards have no chance, but to their credit, they are holding their own, and it looks like, brave as they are willing to die for this city. Die they shall. Valeria, this has been a shitty couple of weeks for you. No argument there. Sanj.
I am fucking sick of this thing. I place both of my hands on this thing's body, and I cast Blight. I just start drawing the moisture from it. I'm going to upcast Blight to 7th level.
Right. That's a serious blight.
Drain all the moisture from it.
Save has advantage.
Cool. So it's still half damage.
Yeah.
which
59 half is 29.
Yeah.
Begin to shrivel it like a slug exposed to salt. But it thrashes around, determined to consume. Consume.
And I will just end up in this little nook here if I can.
Brilliant.
And end my turn.
Isoka, you are being harassed by a bugbear, but you've just watched one of your companions be swallowed. The same companion that you just brought back from the dead.
If I move right there, does that provoke an attack of opportunity?
It will not, but it will put you on the edge of a pit, and he could quite easily push you into the pit from there.
Okay, I am going to use my last channel divinity for the storm damage, and I will shoot Call Lightning.
Alright, another Call Lightning for 60 points of damage.
And if I do that, will I be able to hit the Illithid because it's a straight line?
Oh, you're doing it down towards the bugbear. I thought you were doing the thing.
Not Call Lightning, Lightning Bolt, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Lightning Bolt will hit them both, definitely. Yeah. Alright. So, The bugbear tries to instinctively leap out of the way. It's not going to make it. The mind flayer tries to do the same. And he's amazingly agile for someone with a +1 to his dexterity.
So we'll be half of 48.
Half of 48. Brutal. Would have taken out the bugbear even if he had have saved. 48 is 24. And the mind flayer looks distressed by the severe injuries he has suffered.
And then I'm going to just move up a little bit, and then that'll be the end of my turn.
Right. Start of its turn. Creature takes 10d6 acid damage at the start of its turn. 31 points of acid damage are directly inflicted upon Valeria as she is digested. Creature inside it. Okay. And it then hungrily tries to devour more of you. 1 is Zevram, 2 is Fargrim, 3 Hisoka, and 4 is Sanj.
Can it swallow more than one person at a time?
Don't see why not. It's a gargantuan creature, but if it says it'll say if it cannot. So let's have a look. Yep. About as big as a pea to it, or a lychee. So,
As the creature like bears down on Fargrim, he raises his shield, and at the last second, it crackles with arcane energy and bounces off.
really, a 29 is not going to be enough. That is bullshit.
That was shield.
Amazing.
Eldritch Knights, man. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I was saying to a group like last week, like someone said they rolled like 23. Does that hit? Yeah, of course it hit. It hits everything except ancient dragons and player characters.
Yeah, I don't think there's like any NPCs or enemies that have AC that high.
No,
not even
Karask
close.
has the highest at like 24, 25.
I doubt that
Yeah.
Tiamat would have even a 29. Anyway, brilliant. It seems that the dwarves have forgiven you. The dwarven gods have forgiven you for your past sin.
Oh, they haven't, but I'm working on it.
They haven't do it.
The dwarven gods are not like merciful; they're just fair.
Yeah. It's like a 1950s dad. He still loves you, but fuck, you're a loser.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, you were a wanton murderer for like a couple decades, so there's that.
Yeah. It's a long road to redemption.
Yeah. Anyway,
This heavily injured mind flayer feels like his work is done. He didn't come here to die, and he's already seen that one of his kin has escaped and the other one was executed far too swiftly. He's not sticking around. And he gives you a wave with his tentacles and plane shifts out of there. The bugbears finish off the last of the guards. Brave guards who earned their beers. Thanks, Barry.
On your Baz.
Rip Bear. We're going to his funeral.
Yeah. I'm pouring like a keg straight onto the casket.
Pour one out for our boy Barry.
For his burial.
Hey.
Burial?
Hello, relax. I have to ask, Zevram, what are you doing?
Role playing my character.
You gain inspiration. You gain inspiration. Pyra.
She pops around the corner, and then she'll shoot a crown of stars at the giant worm.
brilliant. In more ways than one, actually. That was not meant to be a pun. But it is truly brilliant.
Just like the pun.
Actually, just like the pun.
And then she just pops back around the building.
That's a bonus action as well, by the way. You still have your action.
Yeah, good point. And it's not. I don't think it counts as a spell either.
No.
So you can still cast a spell on top of that.
Then I will cast Eldritch Blast.
That'll do.
But it's
Just posting the spell card.
Not quite like that. We
get it, Billy. Jesus.
you spare Eldritch Blast. Alright, 2 of them will hit. .24. The creature is looking haggard. It's got more holes in it than flesh. I'm imagining one of those gruesome horror comics where you blow your shotgun through the zombies and you can make these huge holes in the back of it like that. That's Icarus.
see
Have we seen
Valeria?
Valyria yet?
Good question. But the answer is no. Fortunately, neither did you hit her with an Eldritch Blast, which is kind of good. Alright. Did I just close the turn order? I can't see it anymore. Damn it. Who's next? I can't see the turn order.
Fargrim.
Alright.
With his hasted speed, he's gonna get his flail going until it's just a blur and try another swing at this thing with his hasted action.
Going at it like an angle grinder.
Is an 18 hit?
It will.
Okay, so it takes 11 bludgeoning and has disadvantage on its next save against my spell. With my normal action, I will cast the cantrip Toll the Dead for 3d12 damage because it's wounded, or it has to make a saving throw though.
It has advantage.
So straight
Also
roll,
has
I think.
disadvantage.
Oh, it has disadvantage! Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so it's a fail.
All right, 3d12 necrotic. 13.
Oh, well, the
And-
creature withers and starts to vomit.
And because I have Warcaster, or not Warcaster, War Magic, there it is, I can make one more attack as a bonus action.
Gotcha. Nice build. Split it
So-
open like kicking somebody's appendix after the operation, and out comes a grizzled, acid-devoured entity that might have once been Valeria.
She's still alive.
I think so. Have you ever seen RoboCop? Like, the dude falls in acid? Oh man, that traumatized me as a child, let me fucking tell you.
Yeah, for me, it was that one Batman scene with the boiling acid.
I flinch at the thought of acid. It's the only death that truly horrifies me.
Yeah, it is fucked.
Alright. An order, but at this point it actually doesn't matter. There are a handful of bugbears, even though they have intellect devourers. I'm confident that you'll be able to deal with them, particularly because they're already out of range and it's going to take them 2 or 3 rounds to reach you. The Mind Flayers have vanished back to maybe another plane, or maybe not. The Neophyllid has been split open like an overgrown organ. And slowly, but surely, victory is ours.
Curse these horrid things.
Yes. the word.
Fuck.
Yeah, Farm kicks like the corpse of a intellect devourer. It's like, God damn these things.
Let's get these two back to the manor.
Aye.
Is everyone all right?
Yes, I am fine. Can't say the same for these two.
Try and make our way back to Trollskull if we can. Arctic.
Indeed. You limp back, reporting in to the Black Star to inform her of your victory.
Right, so if I'm not mistaken, these two are just stunned. Is that right? They're in.
I think a greater restoration spell can heal them.
Fargrim, Ahsoka? Are you able to restore these people?
Not my
Yeah.
wheelhouse.
I cast it on both of them.
Just all of a sudden everything goes black for them, and then they all of a sudden they're back at Trollskull. So was that a dream?
Welcome back.
Yeah, I see why Keviak got taken out by those things. I mean, obviously, his equally matching intellect of mine must have helped defend him. But are you his apprentice, by the way, Sanj?
His apprentice.
Yes, I assume Keviak is naturally my equal in the arcane.
Oh, no, yeah. Keviak fast surpassed even I, and rest assured I'm quite talented. No, he was certainly something else. I'm sure you'll be
It's my
astonished
older
to meet
brother.
this
It's
fellow.
only natural.
Of course, yes.
What
Trust
I,
me, I not met a dwarf like him.
I want to know what made these things come out of the surface all of a sudden. I mean, we decimated a good amount of their force down on the ground. What made them so cocky to come up and chase us? Or not even us particularly, but attack the town.
I think the point was that it was not the majority of the force that we hit. It was a handful of drow and some other goblinoids. What we saw, I think, would have probably been the goblin market and its surroundings being emptied as a result of the illithid influence being so strong. We retreated, and they pressed their advantage. I think that's what's happened. There are more illithid than we had. There were 3. We saw 3 of them. We've only seen 2. There are 3. There could now be multiple.
Yeah, let me get a bit of an idea for just how multiple is multiple. And I'm going to use Arctic's
Please.
favorite ability. Just take a minute to try and sense the presence of aberrations. Just to see just how many of them there are and what to do.
Post the ability so I can read it once again.
Yes, this thing.
5 miles. There are roughly 2,500 aberrations within 5.
Right, after closing my eyes and concentrating for a moment, I slowly open them and sigh heavily. Yes, what we encountered wasn't even the tip of the iceberg. There are thousands in the region of Waterdeep.
The vast majority of those 2,500 are down.
Yeah. I'll be specific and say mostly below Waterdeep, but regardless, close enough to launch an assault if they so wished.
Does that ability tell you what they are, or just the general type?
It reveals which of your enemies are present, their numbers, their general direction. If there are multiple groups, you learn the information for each group. It's a bit. I don't really like it that very much, but that's how it works.
It's just aberrations. Yeah, it doesn't reveal the variety of aberration.
Oh yeah, it's just a generic aberrations.
You don't have favourite enemy. Illithid, you have favourite enemy. So things like carrion crawlers, I'm pretty sure, are aberrations, for example. And if a carrion crawler well, they're monstrosities, aren't they? Right? I thought they might be, but let's imagine that a carrion crawler is an aberration, and they lay 1,000 eggs. What does that tell you? 1,001 or 1? Who knows? Illithids have tadpoles. As players may not realise that. As characters, you might not realise it as well. But each one of those is presumably an aberration. Each tadpole. But that's just a thought. I'm certainly not suggesting that 99% of them are harmless.
Right. Well, now that that's over, I think we need to. I'm going to go see Amara, see if I can procure some more of those amulets, and perhaps get a few scrolls as well.
I think if it would be prudent of us to now press our advantage, I think. We've slain that great worm creature, and Lord knows where the other two have travelled to. I think it might be pertinent for us to go and get our supplies and move quickly.
For all we know, there could be only one of many.
I would like to take a rest before we go, honestly.
We just woke up from a rest.
I'm a bit low on spells, so a rest would be useful, but I don't strictly need it. I can probably go one more good fight.
A rest would mean spending 16 hours doing nothing, and then 8 hours sleeping again.
Yeah, because we rested before we answered the call, and that's like the one rest we can today.
I mean, do you
Unless
have to
we wanna take,
sleep
like-
to rest?
No, but to benefit from it, you can't get benefit from a long rest more than once in a 24-hour period.
Well, if we
Shit.
go without me resting, I'm not going to be able to cast restoration on anybody that gets their intellect drained.
That's why I plan to buy a few scrolls.
All right, then we can risk it then.
Scrolls, amulets, yes. Fargrim, perhaps you might do the same if you're capable of casting spells. Why not pick up a couple of scrolls, put them to use?
Sure.
Those who are injured can stay behind while I go do some shopping.
The
Perhaps
city
if
is,
you're
of course,
accompanying-
in chaos. Sorry to interrupt. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just suggesting I accompany you purely because, well, look at the situation. It's dangerous out.
Yeah. Not going to any shop. I'm going to go straight to Amara and see if the Magisters will open their vaults to us for a price.
They've already opened their vaults today because it's like a chaotic day. They've been distributing protection from evil scrolls to the point where they've exhausted their supplies. They will give you what remains, though. There are 1d4 plus 1 of these scrolls, and Amara gives you her own amulet.
Looking for greater restoration scrolls, specifically.
Yeah, alright. 1d3 of those as well. She apologises, but those are the last 2 scrolls in Waterdeep's public property.
Right. I'll hold on to one. Sanj, you take the other.
Very good.
And I think maybe I take the amulet, seeing as I am somewhat susceptible.
I have my own, so yes, please feel free.
Does that require any of our gold?
No, they're certainly not. They want to do all that they can to give you the advantage.
That's as good as it's going to get. Anything else you need, Sanj?
Hmm. No, I don't think so. Nothing comes to mind. Time to make a new stone, but outside of that, no, I don't need to shop for anything.
Sorry, I missed if anyone was saying anything. I
No.
thought I'd step away for a moment.
I think it's all good. Right, so I suppose we eventually return. And yeah, do we think it wise to press our advantage? Do we want to push in? What should we do? We need to report to the Black Star.
While they were
Perhaps that
doing,
would be wise.
That was the smart, yeah.
would I have been able to benefit from a short rest if we just stayed, or if I just stayed in the Troll Skull manor or keep
Yeah.
whatever?
Definitely a short rest, yeah. Somehow, after sitting down for an hour with a cup of tea, you regenerate a lot of the flesh that you lost while being devoured by a giant one.
The lady works in mysterious ways. I don't know what to say.
That's right. The laws of physics in Faerun are not the laws of physics on Earth.
No, it's like the cartoons. You just stick your thumb in your mouth and blow real hard. And that
Yeah.
just
Got a bunch of
Regenerates
band-aids
flesh.
strapped to her or some shit. Like, what was that
Alright.
superhero game where it's just kind of assumed in the rules that you're like you can't die?
Baby mutants and masterminds, the default rules
Yeah,
are.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just even if you just get your ass blown in a nuclear explosion, like you just get like the you blackened and unconscious.
Yeah.
How long were they gone roughly, Arctic? Like, not, ballpark. To go, do what they did.
Probably no more than an hour. They only had to cross town, and they would have been as quick as possible.
Okay.
But I mean, you've got all the time in the world as long as you decide that you have. You're making your own schedule here, so.
as we get back to Troll Skull, I'll say, all right, we got some supplies, but they've run short of almost everything. We'll have to make do with what we got. I suggest that anything else left to do, you do it now, and meet us at the Yawning Portal.
Very well, I'll see you there.
The only thing Adrastia has left to do is go find another bottle of fine wine in the cellar and bring that with.
One for the road.
Yeah.
When you go searching and all that you find are little notes. I owe you 1 bottle of fine wine, Maloon War Dragon. It notes that everyone, just as you're getting frustrated, just as you're ready to
Has the
smash
cunt
things.
never heard of a tab?
That is his tab. I owe you tab.
I don't know who that is, but I take one of the notes and pocket it so I know who to kill later.
Brilliant. NZ, our changeling, reveals her stash and gives you the last bottle of elven wine with it.
Well, yeah, I guess it's forgiven.
That's not. Z didn't drink it, but anyway. Yeah. All right. So yeah, some of the party's ready to go. What about the rest of you?
I would like to do what I tried to do earlier.
Brilliant. Go and murder some goblin somewhere? Or a human?
Humanoid, I don't really care who.
Alright.
As long I'm trying to avoid being seen, but beyond that, I don't really give a fuck.
His name is Jezrin, and he is a gardener. He has a bristly moustache, a receding hairline, and a massive mortgage that he will never pay off.
Really, we're doing him a favor.
I'll do my best to make sure his garden is fertilized.
Brilliant. His second wife doesn't even come to the funeral. She's already bonking someone else.
And when he dies, I will cast Soul Cage on his soul. Whoops.
Right.
That's what I meant to do. But anyway, I caged him in my cage.
He was trapped in a bad marriage. He was trapped in a bad mortgage. He's now trapped in a soul cage.
Then I head to the yawning portal.
All right.
His wife is banging a half orc as we speak.
Indeed, massive half orc. So we go to the yawning portal. If you wish to interact with anyone there, you may. Otherwise, we can assume that you pay your gold piece and descend down into the depths below.
Does Dylan have any news, comings and goings?
Plenty of news. Plenty of news.
The last 24 hours.
All right. Yeah, there's been creatures crawling up through here. Mostly goblins, but they've been no threat to us. We've been one-shotting them over and over and just throwing them back down into the hole.
Oh, fuck. No. Quietly lean over the bar and kind of give Dernan like a 30-second sign of why he shouldn't do that. And I might even suggest sealing. Is it possible to seal the yawning portal, like the actual portal itself?
Oh, so, but he's never been done before. Sounds like a pretty extreme measure.
That's probably worth it at this point, honestly.
Alright, well, he asks you to fill out a form and he promises to pass it on to the local officials and petition to close the yawning portal. It begins. But what about people down there that want to come out? I'm not going to trap them down there. I'm not going to be responsible for that. But if you can get the Hidden Lords to take responsibility, I'll seal it up then.
Oh, it is a drastic measure, you're right, but the situation is so dire at the moment. There's so many aberrations running afoul. All those goblins you've sent back as you've shot them down, infested, possessed by brains with legs. It's something out of a fairy tale. You might not believe me, but it's terrible.
I've seen the little bastards. I've lopped off a few heads myself, you know.
Well, then the first level of Undermountain is likely crawling with them, as Adrastia has pointed out earlier as well.
All the levels by now. I've heard there's a war going on down there, and they're winning.
Maybe it's on us to shake things up a bit.
What you're saying is you want to go down there, and you want me to seal it on up after you, so you can't get out.
Well, no, I don't have a way of contacting you to get out of here.
You don't, and no to the other bastards have already gone down there.
Right, then,
so that's why I'm not shutting it up without Waterdeep's say-so.
Then perhaps that is something we could suggest to Vajra and see what she thinks. But for now, very well. Then we obviously can't seal it without proper authorities' approval.
Well, I'm not going to be blamed for it. That's all I'm saying. Oh, Dernan, you've paid your gold piece to go down there, and now you trapped us down there, you bastard. What are you working for the Mind Flayers now, are you bastard? No, I'm not going to listen to that bullshit. Well, if the Waterdeep Lords tell me, then I'll do it. Until then, she stays open.
Very well. I respect that, of course. Well, anyway, here's my gold piece. Let's get in that bucket.
Alright. Yourself at the first level of Undermountain. It's a familiar territory. You've been here before. The first room is a room filled with shields, the collective shields of countless adventurers who thought that they would conquer this dungeon.
Alright, well... Where did we mean to pursue them? Where shall we move next? To the Goblin Market? Try and check in with Groin? Think it's worth it? If there's been nothing but goblins coming out of the sewers.
Wouldn't surprise me if he's dead.
No contradictions, that must be the plan.
Sounds good.
Alright. You travel through the first layer of Undermountain, dispatching of bugbears with brain dogs in their heads, and carrion crawlers, and manticores, and even a chimera. A couple of trolls as well. You finally make it down to the second level of Undermountain without so much of a scratch. You find the goblins are under siege, but they are still there. They're still operating their little market, but they've erected defences like barricades made out of wood and rusted nails, manning them with crossbows. But what do you do when you reach the borders of this defensive position? Goblins are pointing crossbows at you.
We are friends of one named Groin. Is he still here? Groin.
You cut out there one.
Yeah!
Is that you?
No! I'm Gloin!
Gloin. Any relation?
Not yet! But I'm gonna marry his sister soon!
Well, what
Take
happened to
us
him?
to Groin, please.
I recognise you, you know!
I don't recognize you, I'm sorry.
Well, probably got a real bad memory. Takes you to see Groin, and gee guys, I never thought I'd see you again. I thought that you died.
We thought the same of you, actually.
Oh jeez, really?
We just assumed, really, that didn't
Oh,
no reason behind it. Just assumed it would happen eventually.
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, now we're part of a nation now. We've got a king and everything.
You're not in charge anymore?
Oh, well, I'm in charge of around here. I think I'm a count, or a baron, or a duke. I'm not sure which.
And what is this nation?
What do we call ourselves again? Oh, I don't know if we picked a name yet. Yeah, I don't know if we picked a name yet, but our king is Azrog. Yeah, he's a hobgoblin. He's blind.
We
Yes,
know
he's
that
got this-
name, don't we?
He has the special knife that lets him see.
Oh, you do know him.
Yes, we retrieved that for him with the help of one of his own.
Well, that's really
another-
great. He's the king now. The king of levels 1, 2, and 3.
Well, Groin, if you're in charge around here, might we be able to speak to Azrog then? Are you able to contact him? Put us in league with him at all?
Level 3, I'll take you there if you like.
Well, I think it might be worth paying him a visit. Perhaps he'll remember us, and he might have a
I'll-
better idea of what's
I
happening down
lean
here.
into Sun. Why do we want to speak to him?
Well, the way I see it is if he's the leader of this nation, as Groin is suggesting or saying, he's probably got a lot of people, a lot of his own, spread out throughout Undermountain. He might be able to tell us what's going on. Perhaps
Potential spies as well.
this is true, yes, but at the moment I fail to see a better option. I'm open to suggestions, of course.
No, I don't have anything better. We need to be careful down here. We could be being watched the whole time.
Absolutely.
Zevrock, you're right, there are brain dogs everywhere. I mean, even some of my own men have got them in their heads.
They do.
Yeah, but we don't know which one. So we were going to organise a policy where we cut everyone's head off, but it got voted down.
Well, that's
I
fair
can't
enough.
imagine why. Well, take us to your leader then, I suppose.
But you be careful, because once we get past level 2, that's Drow country.
I think we'll manage. I give a bit of a glance between Adrastia.
Yes, they shan't prove an issue. Just stay close and we'll protect you.
Don't
Would you like
kill
to
any
guide?
spiders, alright?
We'll leave them be, but I suppose we will defend ourselves if they are set upon us, or if the Drow act out in any hostile
Depends
fashion.
on the size of the spider.
Sarah, you're getting ready to kill spiders?
No, I'm just saying, if it's big enough, I will have to defend myself.
We take you down to the 3rd level, you wind your way through the 2nd level of Undermountain. There are a couple of dwarves here, and dwarven adventurers, and a few Dwerga, mostly battling the dwarves. Another manticore, more carrion crawlers. But eventually you make it down to the 3rd level. Right, now, if we turn left here, that's Drow country, but if we go straight ahead, well, that's Drow country too, as well, I suppose, but just follow me. He takes you deeper into Undermountain. There are a bunch of giant spiders, but they see the size of your group and back off. You see some Drow start following you, though. Like, once you've exited their territory, inverted commas, you can see that they start tailing you, a handful of them, but they don't attack.
Everyone seems to be quite keeping them to themselves. Apart from Jurga. Is that being normal around here, Groin?
Maybe. I mean, everyone's kind of on edge right now. We're always used to fighting each other all the bloody time, but right now, everyone's a little bit paranoid. You don't want to kill people in case something pops out of their skull, right?
Yes, I can appreciate that.
You're better off pretending you don't notice. Like, I had this bugbear, he had this blank look in his eyes, right? And I could tell that he'd lost his mind, and I was thinking about having him executed, but then I was like, the brain dog's just going to infect someone else after that. I might as well just leave him in there, right?
Very insightful of you,
Right.
Groin. Well spotted.
Uncharacteristically so. I narrow my eyes at him.
Yes, a good point, Zevram.
Well, you see how the bloody thing's crumbling around here? Like, it looks like the whole thing's going to collapse on our heads at any minute? You see that? Yeah. Well, that's because we're in a place called Stromdalka. It used to be a dwarven city, like 100 years ago. But now it's all abandoned. And that's why we live here. Or Azrael lives here anyway. All right, I think we're just about there. Oh, here comes a goblin patrol right now! And he talks to his goblins and explains that these adventurers are here to meet Azrog. And they're like, no, you can't kill Azrog! Don't do it! Ruin, what have you done? And he's like, no, man, like, these are the guys that brought back his dagger, remember? And, so yeah, soon enough you're having a council with the old blind Azrog, a hobgoblin who must be 70 years old. He's got his old wretched wife with him as well, a sorceress. And this milky-eyed hobgoblin who grasps the dagger tightly so that he can see you without eyes, holds court, such as it is, in this crumbling dwarven ruin. Welcome back. You have done me great favors in the past, and I have not forgotten.
Oh, greetings, Azrog. It is good to see you.
Ha! Is that some sort of joke?
No, not really. I recall we have had good relations, and it is good to see that you recall them.
Look, please. Stop saying that you can see. It's quite offensive, you know.
I think you're triggering him.
I apologize. I lean over to Zevram and kind of whisper in his ear, how are we going to ask if his scouts have seen anything?
Observed.
Just ask if they came across anything in their travels that seemed unnatural.
Yes, very good, very good. Azrog, I've no doubt that your reach is wide here. Surely you have many scouts abroad? I'm wondering if perhaps they've come across anything strange or unnatural of late. You're aware of the brain dogs, I'm sure. We mean anything larger, mind flayers, or perhaps you have seen the giant worm creatures that have accompanied them before.
I'm glad you were a bit more specific in the end there. When you were going to ask me if I've seen anything strange and unnatural, I would say, well, we're in Undermountain, son. Everything's strange and unnatural down here. The mind flayers, yeah, they've really taken over. They've been a threat for years, you know. He leans in closely. You see that one over there? And he points towards one of the bugbears. He's got one of those intellect devourers inside his head right now. I know a couple of them have already been compromised. They're always spying on us. I'm not stupid. But I don't want to, flip the boat over and make everyone drown. Hard enough living down here with the dark elves and the dark dwarves and everyone else. We just try to keep our head down and play our part. The mind flayers want to take over, right? But they're real subtle about it. They're not conquerors. They're not assassins. They're not trying to wipe us out like the Dwerger or the Drow would. They just seem to be, he tries to think for a while. They just seem to be studying us.
Aren't you afraid that you could be next at any moment?
I'm 77 years old. I've outlived my welcome by 20 years at least. When my death comes, it'll be a mercy.
Well, surely you understand that if they're left unchecked, then eventually everyone down in Undermountain will be subject to their will.
He looks around. What do you see here? As he points to the wretched goblins, starving, malnourished, the ill-equipped hobgoblins, and the bugbears that are robbing from the dead. Do we look like we stand a chance against them?
Well, perhaps not alone, but we've come down to help, to get rid of this problem.
Don't feel like I owe you anything. I feel like the debt's been repaid. And yet, we are in this together, your city and mine. If you can think of any way that we can be of any use, I'll be glad to sacrifice 50 soldiers or so.
Well, what we really need is information. information
Oh.
of where these mind flayers are coming from.
You don't know. You don't know where they're coming from. Oh, well, if that's all you've come down to, that's obvious. I thought you would have known about Sea Deeps by now.
We've heard the
Sorry, what?
names. The Sea Deeps.
Sea Deeps.
What is the level of this place?
You never heard of Sea Deeps, my old son? Yeah, it lies deep below us. Somewhere down there, deeper than I've ever been. Alastair Blackcloak, the wizard who runs this shit show, he's got a, what do you call it, like a bloody school, right? It's like a school of magicians. He trains them to be powerful. You can't get in unless you're already a really good wizard to start off with. He don't take no bullshit artists who don't know how to cast fireball, right? He only takes the best. And anyway, I'm getting off track. Once you get past that school of Halasters, you go down a bit deeper again, and a bit deeper still. And then you run into Sea Deeps. I don't know if there's much further than that. All I know is that you got to get to the wizard's school, and then you got to keep going. It's not called Sea Deeps for nothing.
Well, Sanju, I think Halaster expressed interest in you at one point, didn't he?
Believe so, yes. He, if I recall correctly, he asked me to retrieve Manchun's arm. Something I am yet to do, though I still intend to do it.
Well, perhaps we can use you as a way of gaining entry to the lower levels, to where we need to get to. If you can forgive me for suggesting so.
No, it's fine. I understand that it'll be a play of such to achieve a greater goal. And that's fine. Azrog,
Pretend it's going to be easy. It's a long way down. And if you don't know how the portals work, then you're just going to have to bloody walk.
of course.
Is he talking about those gates we've used before?
Yes,
That's
I
what a
believe I
portal
started.
is, yeah.
I started a small journal, trying to map them out as we
Did
began
you?
to traverse them. Yes, I have small knowledge of how they work, but hope to try and expand my knowledge of them myself.
Well, if you can use portals, it's no bloody wonder that Alastair wants you to be his apprentice. That just, seems like a bit of a no-brainer to me. I just made a joke. Love. Oh, that's very funny, dear.
Not perhaps the greatest time for a joke like that, I mumbled to myself.
Azrog, have your scouts encountered giants? Fire giants, specifically?
No, bloody stone giants, mate. Stone giants, and they're out of their heads, they are. Like, they got some bloody mind disease where they can't remember a bloody thing. But it's pretty deep down. I ain't never seen them myself, but some of me scouts have seen them, yeah.
Curious.
Azrog, what can you tell us of the state of Skullport right now?
Well, I mean, she's in chaos, but when ain't she in chaos? Sundeath, he kind of runs the show, I mean, he's got the biggest army, and he's, I wouldn't say he's a good
half-orc.
sport. A half ogre, mate, half ogre.
Oh, right.
Right, he's got like a wyvern, one of them big dragons, and he flies around on the dragon inside bloody Skull Island. How impressive is that? Flying through on a dragon underneath the ground. I mean, you should be impressed. I'm bloody impressed, and I can't even see it.
I turn to Sanj. I think perhaps we should start our search in Skullport. At least see if we can get some information there. Perhaps if luck is with us, he's within the slaver markets, and we can buy Keviak back.
Yes, a good idea. And as I recall, Aldrich was in good rapport with this Sun Death as well. Perhaps he will remember us, hopefully. Good idea. Azrog, hopefully we can put a stop to all this and things will ease up. And at least reach some sense of normality, whatever that might be or mean to you.
Tell us the gift, love. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's this group of aliens from outer space, right? And they bloody hate mind flayers more than any of them. They're called GIF. Anyway, there's a couple of GIF running around bloody Undermountain at the moment. There's one in Skullport, but he's real sneaky like, and he, from what me scouts have told me, the only way to find him is to like, what do you have to do, love? You tie a red ribbon around the old oak tree? No, love. You take a piece of red cloth and you tie it around your arm or your leg or something. But just one piece of red cloth. All right, yeah. Yeah, so like me Sheila says, grab a bit of red and chuck it on yourself and he should track you down. That's what we've been saying anyway.
Raise my eyebrows and look to the group. Could be
Can I
potential allies.
insight check this information?
Go ahead.
So lying to us might not be another marker.
The guy barely knows what he's talking about, and he's kind of relying on his wife to remember. But between the pair of them, they come up with some less than reliable information.
Okay.
Tie a red piece of cloth around something somewhere, and you'll be found. Okay. It's pretty. That's pretty ambiguous instructions, but thanks anyway.
No problems. Okay. Right. Well, thank you, Azrog. This has been very rewarding.
A bit of a rundown on some of the personalities in Skullport, or you're just going to wing it?
Well, I suppose there would have been some movers and shakers about the place.
Yeah, there's a few people more important than others, like business owners mostly, right?
Is Thrundark still there?
Yeah, that bastard, he's still there. He can't seem to decide who he works for, but hey, like, some people say he's still loyal to Zentarum. Other people say that he's working for his king. The king of bloody Brackle, bloody whatever their city's called. Other people say that he's like in service to some bloody dragon that holds a spear or something.
What about the Xanathar's Guild? Have they reformed?
Not really. Last I heard, they turned the bloody Xanathar into a floating joke, right? Like they raised him as a zombie or something, just to amuse themselves. I'm pretty sure that old Xanathar's lair, it's all been taken over by the Flayers, I think.
Good to know.
I tell you who would know. There's this pretty Sheila with a pair of horns called Quiachu. She used to be real loyal to the Xanathar, but she's always having a whinge about him now because he's no longer there. Oh, she's not that pretty. I mean, you can't be very beautiful when you've got horns, can you? Oh, I didn't mean it like that, love. I mean, I've only got eyes for you. Oh, you're such an idiot sometimes. Haha.
Well, do we need to know anything else? Did anyone else have any questions?
No, not I.
Well, I think we've been traveling all day. Perhaps we can rest here a while, Azrog, before we move on.
Give you some tucker. Hey, cook up some carrion crawler eggs for our guests.
Delightful.
I think I'll manage. Sanj, can you please conjure some food?
You know what, Zevram? I would love to. But I can't.
I gulp. one side of eggs, please.
You're gonna have
this
to
is
hold
really
your nose because they taste better than they.
I put my
I just
put my
remembered I
goggles
have
on.
rations.
Yes,
I don't even consider partaking.
Aren't you vegans, Evram?
No, who told you that?
I don't know. I was just trying to give you a cop out.
I assure you, if I was a vegan, I would tell you about it.
during my CrossFit session.
After my yoga.
So the giant that took Keviak, he's not with the mind flayers?
It was present.
He was physically with the mind flayers, but like, don't know if he's like allied with them. I mean, he was in a room with like everybody in that room had a brain dog in them, so presumably he did too.
Okay, so
Also, there might not be many fire giants, so tracking them down might be just a case of, hey, have you seen any fire giants? And,
I only say
chasing that lead. But
so because you said we were going to go to Skullport to check to see if Keviak got
the
sold as
slave
a
markets.
slave.
yeah.
But do mind flayers sell slaves, or do they just take over people?
Depends.
They
because
probably
like,
just kill them and feed them on them or something.
well, it depends on whether or not the great nation of the Zentarum have other means or uses for Keviak, right? Because the Illithid are working
Yeah.
with the Zentarum.
So, I would say someone of Keviak's caliber, like they would want him to be like a soldier.
Keviak dropped the leader of their navy. Like I'm pretty sure he's not going to be down here. With this in mind, now that I think about it, if the fire giant was truly taken by mind flayers, then yeah, it could be a lot worse.
Bloody Keviak, where have I heard that name before, love? Oh, he's the king of the dwarves, love. Even that Yagra Umbolt, that dwarger, even she accepts him as the king. Oh, right, yeah. He's one of your mates, isn't he?
That's right.
Yeah, I thought so. How's King Keviak going anyway?
Unsure at this point in time.
Oh, right.
We lost him.
Or your mouse King Keviak at Sanj.
Sanj nods.
Didn't you know?
Apparently not.
Oh yes, we found a dwarven tomb of the Malakan dwarves, and well, he found a crown inside, and he crowned himself king of all of Delzoon.
As I recall, I crowned him king, but nonetheless, I suppose the matter is trivial.
It wasn't really official. As official as it could be, I suppose.
Yeah,
It's not that
Vargrim
fun.
kind of looks torn between the fact that his brother somehow like managed to recover an ancient like prized dwarven artifact, or the fact that he then used it to crown himself king.
Wince.
Yeah, it's like a dwarf traditionalist. Yeah, it's like, finding some ancient lost artifact, like fuck yeah, and then just like completely abusing it in a petty manner. Like if some warlord dug up the Ark of the Covenant and then used it as like a coffee table.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Alright, well, do you have a bed of hay or straw we can sleep on?
Oh. Well, yeah, I suppose so. Yeah. Let's see what we can.
Got beds
rough
too,
up
but
for
hey,
you.
if you prefer. Sorry.
Yeah, the muck that he finds you isn't suitable for a horse stable, but they sleep in it.
Alright, rest up, and tomorrow, I suppose, Skullport and beyond?
Yes, sounds good.
Aye.
I'd like to contact these Gith when we arrive in Skullport. They
It
could
might
be
be
allies
wise
of
to-
ours.
Correct, yes. Are we as player characters aware of the conflict between the Gith and the Mind Flayers?
If you're intellect, you'd probably know it. If you've got Arcana, then you'd have some knowledge of planar politics by now. Yeah.
Sure, okay. Yeah. That would certainly be amicable, I think, to taking them down.
Definitely gonna need a watch tonight because apparently there are infiltrators amongst us.
Oh yeah. I think we're going to be
Um,
paranoid the whole way down.
I sincerely
We
hope
spend
the
half our
Illithid have
spell
not-
slots protecting from evil and gooding each other.
He says his wife. There's a necromancer named Olive who sells them really cheap. Oh, if you've got any corpses, she takes them too.
What is he selling, sorry?
Says, or zombies. Buying corpses, selling zombies.
Oh. Okay.
Just like a little manufacturing plant where he sits and just casts Create Dead.
Good business model, right? I don't know.
Recycle your cans here.
It's profit. It's like 10,000% profit. Buy a corpse for 1 copper, sell a zombie for 1 gold. That's massive profits. 10,000%.
Bobby?
Cheap, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just buy a pack of zombies.
Her name's Olive. You can't miss her. She's right near the start of it, right near Skull Island. You can't miss it. Just follow the smell.
Sure, find a trap
Alrighty.
finder. Why not buy Trap Spring?
Exactly, man. Just literally use them as mobile cover. Anyway. So yeah, we're taking a long rest.
Yep.
Alright. You are undisturbed during that time, or you are severely disturbed during that time, but nothing enters combat with you.
Right,
Take the day
yeah,
to
I'm
prepare
just
some spells.
checking if I want to change one of my spells or not. Alright, I'm ready. People?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just preparing spells.
Scrub, you gotta memorize your spells.
Yep. With my superior intellect, and don't you ever forget it.
I have 16 intellect and I remember all my spells.
It's good.
Naturally, I'm sure Kiviak remembers all of
Oh, he's
being
an
a mighty
archmage,
wizard. I'm sure he is.
of course. What spell do you think he'd? What school do you think he'd use?
Evocation.
Okay.
Evocation, naturally. Or who knows? Maybe divination. Maybe he's got some finesse.
I think he'd probably be either evocation or conjuration. Conjure his axe into their skull.
Bring in the pain.
Conjures rage.
14, 15.
I cast Create Corpse.
All right. Sorry. Okay, I prepared my spells. Cool. Sorry about that. Right. So to Skullport.
Life gives you a list of names and their titles, people that might prove useful to you.
Good.
Quietude. Oh boy.
Kalal was my sister, is that right?
Right.
Oh, then we should definitely check in with her. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Skullport, a wretched hive of scum and villainy.
That it is.
Yes, let's try and not make any trouble for ourselves beyond the questions we need to ask. Skullport isn't going to change overnight just because we've arrived.
Alright. The maps of Skullport are problematic, so I won't bother using them. They tend to be more confusing rather than useful. You're on the Sargath level already, which is level 3. Sargath, so named for the Sargath River, which leads directly to Skull Island, and Skull Island is like the fortress at the front of Skullport. So, do you have any means of egress, or are you just going to swim?
Wasn't there a eastern entrance to the cavern?
There is. The eastern entrance is the Skullport, the Sargath River.
Oh, right, okay. I thought there was like a direct entrance. There was an embankment
ferry
here with
rental?
rafts on it. We could try and
There
find
was.
that again.
There's no rafts when you go back this time.
Well, I'm not opposed
What's
to
the
swimming. I can
distance?
swim.
Probably a mile.
You cast Fly on 3 people.
I can
What about
cast.
casting it on the strongest people and getting them to carry the rest.
I can cast Water Walk as a ritual.
How many people is that?
That is up to 10 people. And it lasts an hour.
I think just as a precaution, I am also going to ritually cast water breathing, in tandem with Hisoka.
Later, you've ritually ready to breathe water and walk on water. Can't be much more prepared than that.
I will also cast Mage Armor.
Alright.
Alright, I think I'm ready.
Last time we did this, we were assailed from beneath the waters, so just keep an eye out. And if you see a spectral pirate digging for gold, just ignore him.
He's never
I
going to
think
find
I've
it.
had my fill of Underdark creatures fucking me in the ass. So I'm gonna cast Fly on myself, Sanj, and Andrastia.
To that,
Oh,
you are
actually-
extremely prepared now.
my, thank you.
Oh, I see how it is as I begin to water walk.
Can't go drown ambush that usually gets set up here up ahead. They prey on us when we go fishing.
Is that right? We can expect an ambush.
I'll take point then.
All right. So you stumble down through the chamber, and you come to the It's like a crossroads cut by a river. There are tunnels leading to the north, tunnel leading to the south. You come from the north tunnel, and you reach the riverbank. Right here. Sometimes when we collect water or go fishing or wash our pots and pans, they hit us right here. But you don't know they're there until it's too late. You are grazed by confetti, but it does not stick.
Almost.
Almost.
Ah, it's glitter confetti. You'll never get it wrong.
Oh, it doesn't come out.
Yeah, you've reached the ambush point, but there doesn't seem to be any dark elves. There's a flowing river about 30 feet deep, crystal clear, filled with blind fish and frogs and slugs and bats and snakes. Very much alive. It's a rather pristine environment, kind of ironically. No sign of any dark elves, in spite of Groin's paranoia.
Should we announce ourselves or try and get in unmolested?
I think it best we keep a low profile for now. Best not reveal too much lest we need to.
Let's stick to the cavern wall then.
As
Very
passive perception. Probably a Drastian.
Drastia
I've
or
got 17.
Ahsoka?
I got 20.
20, perfect. Adrastia, you can't help but feel like you're being watched, but Hisoka, you can be certain that you are. On the far side of the bank, there are at least 3 dark elves with crossbows trained upon. They could have fired by now, and they haven't.
I'm going to let the group know this information.
They haven't fired yet. Interesting.
Keep
They're cautious.
your hands
they're
away
cautious
from your
of rain.
sides. Don't make us look like a threat. Just stay calm. Perhaps they'll let us just move on without questioning.
They're scared of us being possessed. They don't want to free the potential brain dogs that might be up here.
Let's see if raising our hands up peacefully, see if that motivates
No
anything.
change. Make no change. Keep moving.
Alright. You ignore them, and they let you pass without ever realizing that you knew that they were there. You travel along the Sargath River for about a mile, walking or flying, as is your wont. And you come to Skull Island, and it's worth showing you Skull Island. I said that I wouldn't bother showing you the maps, but Skull Island is the one map that it might be worth showing. We don't need the grid, so I'll get rid of that. We certainly don't need the dynamic lighting, although you won't be able to see through the buildings, but that's irrelevant. So you guys enter in from this eastern side, presumably walking, which, as I recall, is how you came in last time too. I can't remember for
Yeah,
sure.
it is.
Thought so.
It's a bit of deja vu right now for us.
Perfect.
I
Go
think
for
last
it.
time we went into the port here, though. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we plan to go north this time, along north.
It's a good question. They have organ guns, which are like flamethrowers, ballista, giant crossbows, and the place is absolutely blistering with soldiers, human, goblin, and Duergar. There must be 150 or more soldiers on this island, making it one of the largest armies in the northern Sword Coast.
Is there any declaration of allegiance? Any insignia or crests? So on?
Multiple. Making maybe an insight check, perhaps. There are a lot of them.
Sure. I will do just that. Preferably anything that might be relevant or stand out to us. But with a 7, I'm sure I won't catch any
You're
major details.
overwhelmed by just the sheer volume of them. It seems like every god and his dog has a worship down here.
Yeah, okay.
So I ask again, do we announce ourselves or try to slip past?
I don't think I could see. What's his name? The half ogre. I can't see him from where I am right now, so I can't message him. I'm not so sure about this. We don't know who's in charge or who's. Well, actually, no. I suppose Sundeath had been declared in charge by Azrog. I think perhaps if we proceed cautiously, we might be able to get an audience with him and he'll remember us, right? It's risky, but I don't see us slipping past.
Well, let me go ahead then and see if I can... Wait, so you want to slip past?
Well, we need to make... I feel like we need to make contact with Sundeath as quickly as we can.
Alright, well, how about I go up invisible-like and pronounce our intent, and I'll see what the response is.
Alright. We'll remain here until you give the signal. Good luck. If we hear anything, we'll come running, don't worry.
I'll send up some dancing lights if I think it's safe. And I'll give a twist of my ring and go and...
You cannot be seen. We can see up ahead the docks. There are a handful of glowing green skulls that are lingering around them, but mostly it's just soldiers manning their weapons.
Are these skulls the skulls of Skullport, or...?
They are skulls that are surrounded by green flame.
Okay. The 12 or the 13 or whatever they're called, they're blue skulls, right?
There's only 3 of them here, and I don't think that you'd know.
Okay. Once I get to around here, I will project my voice. Actually, I'll cast... Oh no, I can't cast. It'll reveal me. Yeah, I'll just project my voice loudly and say, "We wish to speak to the Lord of Skull Island.
Everyone
We are
laughs
visitors."
at you.
I'm being serious.
You notice that some of them are a little laughing at you, are dressed in Zentarum, not uniforms, but Zentarum attire, which I guess isn't that different to your own parties. It's Keviak and certainly now Fargrim also have the similar kind of ornaments that a Zentarum would have.
Yeah, he's got like old Zentarum insignias on his armor, but kind of reforged, like covering up an old tattoo, is the way I kind of think of it.
What are you here for? Asked one of the Dwergers, pointing a flamethrower at you.
We just want to enter Skullport.
I only see one.
My friends are awaiting to see whether it's safe.
Laugh at the idea that you might actually have friends. And they say, just
Wait,
wait here.
you can see me?
If they're calling out to you, well, where are you? Where
Okay.
are you?
I'm here!
And they put their crossbows in your general direction.
I move away from that general direction.
They're still pointing at the same spot. Very well, all are welcome within Skullport. This is a free trading outpost, but you must obey the rules not to kill anybody. Or if you do, at least do it in a back alley somewhere.
Yes, can I signal my friends?
Yeah, they are welcome as well.
Can I just say how racist it is that you're making the Nazi dwarf German?
I think it's topical.
What is it, 1940?
So can
Topical.
I think it's racist that you think a German accent is a Nazi.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah.
I'm American. All Germans are Nazis.
Wow.
I'm an American. All Americans are not
Racist.
Nazis. By modern
guess that makes-
definition.
Yeah, I guess that makes all Americans Confederate.
I mean, I played a German in my last Shadowrun campaign, and he was basically a Nazi sympathizer.
Makes sense.
Alright, I will reveal myself still standing on the water, and I will send up some dancing lights 60 feet into the air and twirl them around.
Right. Well, that's us.
I'm gonna cast Disguise Self as I approach. Just a generic human.
Joe Smith.
Yeah, and Joe Smith, John Doe.
Got brown hair, brown eyes, 5'10", slight paunch.
Yeah, just they're completely forgettable, basically.
Wearing a salaryman suit.
That's it. Yeah. You've got an adventurer's pack, explorer's pack. Alright. Yeah, okay, so anyone else want to specify what their disguise is, or are you all just 5'10", brown eyes, brown hair?
Sounds good.
It's an option.
Yep.
An option, real quick. If we want to go for it. I technically have the ability to associate with these guys as Zentarum. I still have my old badge. We want to do that. Out of character, I have the soldier background thing that lets me like pull rank on members of my organization.
Sure, not sure how useful it'll be here. Are these Zentarum?
Hard to tell. Some of them, they have Centarum gear, but not Centarum uniforms.
Right.
Probably not then. Not to mention I'm a dwarf and they're Dwerger, so we're probably not going to get along. Ignore me.
The option is certainly yours. Assuming that's not what you do, you are eventually brought before a half ogre who himself rides a wyvern. Got his picture here somewhere, so I'll see if I can bring it up.
There's a way you can like expand the token. I forget what it is, like Shift K or something.
Yeah, but it doesn't work for this guy because it's not the original token. The original token, I will show you the original token for the sake of it. Here you go. There you go.
Nice.
Nice. His name's Sundead. It kind of looks like Megadeth now that I'm looking. It's still the same font. That's the Megadeth font. All right. So yeah, you were brought before a gnarled half ogre who is riding a wyvern while he speaks to you. Who are you, and what have you interrupted me for?
We don't you remember us? We are the adventurers that came through here a few years ago with our friend Keviak. You remember him, right?
Aren't you all wearing disguises?
I'm not.
I am.
All right, so two of you are, but the rest of you aren't.
I think it was Adrastia, and that was it.
Yeah, just me, I think.
I also thought that I heard Valeria say the same thing.
I did, but I thought somebody cast see me or something. I wasn't really paying too much attention to it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, cool.
So, if somebody didn't cast see me, then never mind, ignore me.
Oh yeah, it's been a few years, but I think I remember you. What do you want?
Entry into your fair haven.
You've got it. It's an independent trading post. Everyone's welcome. Not like them cities up on the surface where they'll kick you out for having the skin the wrong color. No, you're right. Everyone's allowed in here.
It's very gracious of you. How is Skullport?
You are the
These
bastards who wiped out the Temple of Leviathan.
I do not recall taking claim to such a feat, unless that is something that you think was good, maybe?
I want to hang you high right now. Whatever happened
Definitely
to all
not us then. Oh, him. He found a different calling. Let's put it that way.
I'm not going to cause a scene. I'm here to maintain the peace, not to chase down petty vendettas. You've got free entry like anyone else. It's an independent city. Just don't stir up any trouble, or trouble will find you quick enough.
Fair enough. And I just start inching my way.
So, yeah, so they give you access across the bridge up into Skullport proper. They watch you as you go, but you can walk into the city on your own accord.
Sundeth, where might I find one by the name of Elvira? Do you know her?
What name did you say?
Is it Elvira, the harper?
Elvira, yeah, Elvira. Ah, she's the harper, right?
Yes.
Yeah. She kept a low profile for the first 6 months or so, but it wasn't long before everyone worked out who she worked for. But it's kind of all freewheeling here. She can take care of herself, so I thought she would have got buried real soon, but no, she's managed to survive. I'm just sharing a picture of what Skullport looks like, so that's a better picture than I could probably describe. A chaotic place where buildings are built on top of buildings, on top of the old hulls of boats, and held together with rope ladders and rusty nails. Yeah.
On the commissions.
Oh, did I? Oh, right. I'll get rid of it. Still on the commissions thing. I'll chuck it down in. Thank you for letting me know. So yeah, it should be in Forgotten Realms now. Yeah, Elvira. Yeah, so he gives you the directions to her anyway. She's pretty deep inside Skullport, so she won't be the first person you come across, but you get fairly reliable directions. Turn right, turn left, go right again, follow the road until you see a dead goblin hanging upside down. Look for the crow cage and you should be there.
Cool. Great, thank you.
Alright. So yeah, you're inside Skullport. As I just mentioned and just described, it's a ramshackle place where there is no planning club codes, that's for sure. Buildings built on top of ruins, reaching 2 or 3 or even 4 stories high. The whole thing is connected by rope ladders linked together, and it looks like a strong breeze would blow it all down. Fortunately, there isn't many strong breezes underneath the ground. The first store you go past is a necromancer selling discount zombies. No interest?
Not really.
Not today. Not in the bud.
Do I know if discount zombies have souls?
Oh, I don't think zombies do have souls, no.
Okay.
Good
Does he
question.
sell any discount live people?
It's a she, and no, she's buying corpses, selling zombies.
Excellent. Never mind. Not interested.
I'm sure that Olive had a player character sheet, but I can't find it anywhere. Doesn't matter because you're not going there anyway. All right. The next business that you come across is a general store run by a gnome whose eyes are as black as night. No interest.
What was the store? Sorry.
It's a general store run by a gnome whose eyes are as black as night.
Negative.
All right.
Yeah, that's okay.
The next one that you come across, here's a picture. I didn't have Olive's picture, but here's the gnome's picture at least. The next one you come across is it's a bar, a tavern called like the Wormswill or something. I can't remember. It's a Dwerga tavern run by Dark Dwarves. Any interest?
We went in there last time and drank some really horrid stuff that almost turned all of us sick. So maybe not this time.
Understandable. Across the road, such as it is, from the Hatar Tavern is another tavern called the Flagon and Dragon. It is currently closed, and it is where you would have expected to find Kalal Kladani.
Strange. Why is this place closed?
Says a
Is
goblin.
there any way?
I'll tell you for a gold piece!
How about
Make it
5
twice.
silver?
Right, 5 silver, great, that's great, just pay up!
I will toss him 5 silver.
You got kidnapped by mind flayers!
What?
Yeah!
When?
Oh, a couple of days ago?
And no one did anything?
No?
Ugh, I hate
What's
this
that?
place.
We've got 2 taverns, we don't need both.
Anything else you know about them? Which way they went? Which direction?
They went towards the library.
Library?
Yeah.
You mean where the tiefling is?
Yeah, that's right, the pretty tiefling.
Alright, thank you. Off you go.
All tieflings are kind of pretty.
Thank you.
So are dark elves. Oh.
I'll kill you if you don't leave right now.
Runs away.
I start rubbing my hands together and pacing back and forth.
The next building you come across, or the next open building that isn't run down and infested with bugbears that are currently engaging in goblin wrestling matches, is a library. The library seems quiet and has a peaceful tiefling flicking through books.
Quietude, is it?
You go inside.
Mm-hmm.
She puts her book down and sighs. It's quietude.
Yes, well, no doubt you recall my associates.
You're in normal
there is-
form, aren't you?
I am, yes, I'm not disguised.
The Vidalkin. The
Yes.
Vidalkin from Dagger Falls. Dagger Ford.
That's right, yes.
Ah. She looks up from you. It's fine, like she was keeping her finger on the word that she was on that she was reading, but she relaxes and takes her finger away. Well, this is unexpected.
Why is that?
I had assumed that you had been lost in hell.
No. Almost, but no, not quite.
Seem we've just swapped one hell for another on our return.
Probably a worse one.
What can you tell us of the Illithid?
I can tell you that they are pawns.
Pawns? Two.
Oh, it seems that everyone is a pawn these days. It seems that everyone is lining up to serve as lapdogs to those miscreants in Dragonspear Castle. Of course, Dragonspear Castle is just one of their many fortresses.
Well, yes, but we have important business on a more personal level for the time being to attend to here. We are aware that they are down in the sea deeps. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but there is a passage here, is there not? To either the first level or the Xanathar's lair? Around here.
Yes,
You
there
know of
is. Within this very building that you stand in, there is a auxiliary entry which will take you to the location of the former Xanathar. My friend, whom your friends killed.
Look,
I have
again?
on. What did you kill?
Really muffled. We didn't catch what you said.
They killed the Xanathar, if that's the question. Yeah.
Look, I just learned that my sister has been kidnapped by them, and we are seeking a friend who might also be in their possession.
Pledani is your sister? I did not know that.
Yes, I didn't know that either until a few years ago.
Then you are a Tekken Jewess. One of the last of the Tekken Jewess.
I am.
And you are travelling with a... is Adrassi is a surprise, isn't she? Weren't you
Yes.
travelling with one of the Fae Shay recently?
Yes, but neither of us hold any sort of allegiance to our old houses. I was never even a part of it to begin with.
Curious. Oh, I am sorry. I might have derailed your train of thought.
Well, one of the wretches in the street said that they passed this way after they kidnapped her. Did you see anything?
They took her into the lair of my old friend. They are using it as a launch pad for assaults that they intend on the surface. And I did hear that there was an attack made only hours ago.
Where is this place?
The old Xanathar lair. She takes you to one of the bookshelves and shows you the secret door. You might wonder why I am being so compliant, considering your murderous history.
I suppose it is a little curious. What are your motivations in all of this?
They raised him from the dead, you know, as a zombie. They stitched him back to serve as a trinket of their success. They wanted to show Bane just how much they were in service to him.
I see.
Yes, and so did he.
Of course.
I am. I have not laid eyes on Bane myself, but they say that he was quite pleased when he saw what they had done for him.
Yes, well, we'll undo that as soon as possible. But right now, we're also looking for information about our friend Keviak. We believe he may have been abducted by fire giants. Do you know of any here in the Underdark?
Yes, I was required to shrink down a giant and transport him into the locale, and I was required to shrink him down again when he wanted to depart, only yesterday.
Did you see a dwarf with him?
No, I did not.
Well, what do you think we should do, everyone? Our path is before us.
We should seek to destroy whatever this launch pad is. It will at least hopefully alleviate the streets of Waterdeep for some time. We've already weakened it substantially, but they have had a bit of time to regroup. Perhaps it's best to press on now. What do we think? We have some scrolls with us. We are at least a bit more prepared than we were initially, but it will be awfully dangerous once again. It is important that we're aware of the risks. We understand this, right?
Yes. The other option is to also try and make contact with this Gith and see if they could help.
First.
But
of course.
That could take time, and we don't know whether he's even here.
Queertude, have you heard of a Gith agent around these parts? Information I have mentioned something about a red ribbon. Perhaps you've heard similar.
There is a Gith Yankee within this region, within this city. Her name is Elzalzor, and she is on Rakma, which is to say that she is hunting illicit. She thought that she would be able to recruit me, but I declined her offer, for I have no wish to take on Bane in the flesh.
He is here?
You have not heard? I thought that you were well informed.
Don't be outrageous, he can't be here, is he?
Oh my.
I knew that he
My.
was supposedly reborn, but to be here now can't possibly be true.
Yes. I cannot say that I know exactly where he is. I do not know that any know. For when one is a demigod, one can walk as one pleases. He was, of course, destroyed, and again, there is an overgod, of whom very few scholars know about, one Ao, who holds the tablets of fate and is said to have smashed them as well. Ao makes the rules for the gods, for all of the gods. He decides what can and cannot be done. 100 years ago, the gods could walk the earth quite freely, and they did, in fact. But Ao has changed the rules since then, and gods can no longer manifest here on Faerun, even momentarily, unless they give up the vast majority of their divine power and choose to be reborn in the flesh as a demigod, as each of the dead three have chosen. I have it on good authority that Baal stalks Baldur's Gate, which is the reason why that city has fallen into utter in recent years. I have also heard that Merkel wanders the Sword Coast from the Mere of Dead Men all the way down to Kalimshan, recruiting necromancers to his cause and destroying those who refuse to bow down and see him as a god. That only leaves Bane, and Bane has a vested interest in the resurrection of the Zentarim's empire, notably our own local House of Terror, Dragonspear Castle. But I thought that you would have known all of that. After all, did you not take on Caryopteryx himself outside of the living labyrinth?
Well, I want everyone's thoughts on this before we make a commitment. It's a lot to take in. So, I think our focus should be Keviak, first and foremost, and clearing of the Xanathar's guild. Or the base, at least. But, does anyone else have any suggestions or concerns?
No, my thoughts align with yours, Zevram. I agree with you.
Valeria?
I wish this time destroyed. I have to let you know where I stand on that matter. You are the best way to do that. If you think this is the path you will go, I will follow.
Yes,
Although
I'm
I
not sure
doubt
how.
fullness from the last few incursions we've had with them.
Well, I
You know
think
what?
we're a little bit more prepared now. Perhaps we can deal with what's left.
Deliria,
Yeah.
perhaps I should have given this to you perhaps a little while ago, and perhaps you might like to take the time to attune to it now. I fear I do not mean to blow my own trumpet, so to speak, but I perhaps might stand a better chance of resisting these aberrations than you. So perhaps it is best that you take this amulet, and I'll hand you an amulet of protection from evil and good. So it's attunement, and it offers the same benefit of the spell.
She'll take it and give a curt nod of understanding, but say nothing.
Drastia, any concerns, suggestions?
None that come to mind.
Ahsoka?
I agree with what you guys said, and whatever the best course of action to get Keviak out of here. I just think against the Zemtar, keeping the peace in Waterdeep, we gotta form some kind of alliance with some people, because it seems Waterdeep on its own can't handle the forces coming up.
Yes, it does feel like we're on the precipice of something major here. But, Bagram, I suppose I don't need to ask your opinion, but all the same.
I want to go get my brother.
Well then, let's make our preparations and head down this path. I guess we'll do like a bit of a montage as we take a short rest or whatever. Allow people to attune to stuff.
Sure. We've got about 25 minutes left, so if you want to like jump straight into it, totally fine. We can definitely do that. If you want to spend the next 25 minutes still in Skullport gathering more information, that's up to you. If you want to call it here, then that's an idea as well. So I'll let you decide what you want to do with these last 25 minutes.
Did someone want to try and make contact with these Gith?
I could scry on Keviak.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
I might stroll around Skullport, Arctic, sporting a red ribbon. I'll just use like minor illusion, perhaps, to form a small band that I'll just wear on my right arm, just below the elbow, on the forearm.
No problem at all. I'm just looking up notes, so that's why I'm not talking. Yeah, alright, Sanj. You wander around for about half an hour, and you hear, psst, is someone trying to get your attention. And when you look over there, you can see, I don't have a picture ready, unfortunately, you can see a woman who has yellowing skin that hangs tightly over her skull like a mask. You can see she has no nose, only an indentation of a skull with skin stretched over it. She has spots on her like some kind of eczema or some other leper's disease. And yeah, she says, nice ribbon.
You are El Zalzor, I presume.
Seems taken back by the fact that you know her name, enough that she draws her blade. Who sent you?
No, I'm not here to engage you or dispatch you at all. The librarian knows your name and pointed me here. I suggested I wear the ribbon to get your attention.
Speaks too much.
She knows a lot. Regardless, she mentioned that you had tried to recruit her and tried to get her on board hunting Illithid. Is that correct?
Maybe. Do you claim to be a hunter of the Mind Flayer?
Right now we have a large score to settle with these cursed beings. Think it might be of benefit to both of us were you to come along. I'm not prepared to offer you payment, but I imagine the satisfaction of dealing with these foes might be in and of itself enough.
Your desire for revenge is not enough. I will require proof that you have battled the Illithid in the past.
Are you familiar with the name Nihilor?
Am eyes narrow?
I pull out the first ever batch of notes I took off of his desk, transmuting elves to, like, the elven benefit of sleep to other races.
Yeah.
I pull that out, hand it to the Gith. I took this from its desk the first time I ever engaged it.
Very well. It seems that you may be ready for Rakhma. Let us go then. I will take you to the Star Dock, and from there your competence can be assessed.
I suppose it is important that I may mention I'm not here alone. I travel with friends, all of which share the same goal. We've engaged with their overgrown tadpoles, their giant worms, with Illithid, with I, as the player, forget the name of the big version of the Mind Flayer that we fought in Elturel.
Oh yeah, that was an Ultra Lithid, I think.
Yeah. So my companions and I have faced numerous creatures of all variety. We're all very competent. And we could use, well, the passion that I'm sure you hold. And if that is not enough, well, I will offer you payment too. My own pocket. We could use the hands.
My kin have a base hidden on the dark side of one of the moons within your sky, one of your tiers of saloon. I will take you there, and you can join the Rakhma.
Do you intend to leave now? I might confer with them, if that's okay. Might I meet you here again?
I will leave when I have soldiers. If you have a party ready, then I am ready to go.
I will pass the information on. Thank you. I will sport the rumour again if I need to contact you.
Very good. Bring with you 1,000 gold pieces, for I have no way of reaching there except for teleport. And my contact does not work for free.
Very well. Thank you. I return to the party with all of that information and finish with, she seems to suggest that we will participate in their Rakhma. Not familiar with what exactly it means or what it is or entails, Likely a ritual of some sort. They have a base as well. One of the Tears of Saloon, apparently.
Yeah,
But
this
anyway.
should go swimmingly. I mean, it's not like we've had any wacky misadventures involving Gith, right?
Did you say the Tears of Saloon? One of the big dots in the sky.
Well, yes, that's a moon, is it not? He said something about having
Yes.
a base on the surface of that celestial body. Yeah.
Are you sure you were speaking to the right person and not some dullard from the street?
I'm quite sure.
I mean, I would very much relish the chance to visit such a sacred place, but I think we should focus on getting our friend back.
Very well. Well, she would not guarantee that she would wait for us, and she said that if she found troops, she would depart. So, well, let us keep that in mind. But yeah, the option to attain her skills and weaponry won't be around forever.
Just out of character, how long are we planning on staying around in this area generally before we move on? Long rest, short rest, not even that much, longer? What?
Short rest, I think, was the...
Yeah, to let you
Intention.
attune to your item.
Okay. Our
You know,
I
it's
prefer it to be
different.
an hour and a half. So short rest plus half an hour.
90 minutes
Okay.
is fine.
And-
Arctic.
Go ahead.
Sorry. In terms of things like creating the transmuter stone, Arctic, it's going to take 8 hours. Would you let me do that over different intervals, or does it have to be in the 1 8-hour period?
Fine, you can do it, yeah, over different periods, yeah.
All right, awesome. Then I'll spend 90 minutes doing that. Or working on that then.
Well, there wherever. I want to try and achieve 3 things, Arctic.
Yeah,
First, I want to scry on Keviak.
doesn't
Attempt
work.
to. Excellent. Second, I would like to try to woo or flirt with or persuade or whatever Quietude. Mostly focusing on her intellect and or beauty, I guess. I don't know. Philia is probably better at it than I would be.
She's not interested in your flattery, but she is very interested in intellectual conversation.
Excellent. I will inquire as to how she got to where she was and try and how she came to be connected with the Xanathar, I think. And it's kind of be amazed by how she has so much information compared to most people.
She admits that there is a bounty on her head in Waterdeep, and there has been for a long time. She began her career as an adventurer, and the adventuring party were a little bit too over enthusiastic, and they started killing people, in the names of justice or something. But there is little justice to be found when you are a tiefling. So she's not proud of it, but she fled retribution. She doesn't claim to be innocent. She just doesn't. But she only claims her guilt by association. And in any case, she'll be hung if she goes up to Waterdeep, partly because she's a tiefling and partly because she's a former criminal. The knowledge is just natural. She just has always been a book reader.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, besides that conversation with her, I just try and short rest. That's it.
Absolutely.
Alright, so do we mean to make for deeper? Are we going to try and push into Xanathar's lair to disrupt things there? So we're pretty keen on pursuing Keviak, but not sure where to start.
Yeah, keeping on the trail of the Illithid seems like a good idea.
Yeah. Just push them. I mean, hopefully they're weak. Question mark. Weaker.
Yes. Once we get in there, I think we need to focus on any of those tentacled bastards we see. Any bugbears, humans, other little wretched creatures. Try to leave them till last.
Leave the brains in their heads. Better that we deal with the attacks of halberds and little rusted scimitars than having our brains devoured.
And if you do strike one down, finish the job.
Right, well, I think I'm ready as ever.
Into the Xanathar.
Alright.
With a wink to
Small into the
quietude.
breach up, my friend.
Indeed.
Arctic, as we enter, may I cast a spell?
Of course.
Alright, I think I might begin things. It's a 10-minute spell. I will cast Intellect Fortress and stand with myself kind of placing myself in the middle of our party.
Plenty. People and you will get it if it's a 5-foot circle. Oh, 30 foot. Even better.
Yeah, it's like Paladin Aura at 17.
Oh, is that how it works? Yeah, 30 foot.
It's basically 30 foot, and then it costs my reaction to allow.
It is 5th level, but even so, it's a powerful spell. I quite like the Psionic spell.
I'm happy to
Alright.
bump it to 6 if you think it's a bit
No.
much. Like I don't.
No,
I don't-
I don't necessarily think it's overpowered. I was looking at it just the other day.
Oh,
I
okay,
think it is
sure.
a powerful spell, but like 5th level spells are pretty powerful by their nature. Some suck, most are pretty good.
Yeah, I saw this and thought it was probably the coolest of the psionics, to be honest.
Me too. And the first level one is another good one too.
Mm.
First, but this is probably the best. All right, do we start now?
Awesome.
Jumping over.
Did we want to start combat? If that's, I mean, that's most likely outcome, right? Or did we want to leave it here and wait until we've got everyone next week? Christina might be here next week, so might be good to start
Yeah,
with her.
perhaps those of us that are here might take the time to make any necessary preparations leading into the session, and then we can call it maybe. I don't know. It would seem pretty like, yeah, to have 10 minutes of like what might be a big fight. Yeah, seems pretty
Yeah,
lackluster.
I reckon we just stop it here.
Sounds like it too.
Keviak have one of those anti-scrying objects as well.
He does not.
Okay. I was about to say, Jesus fuck.
Well, things started off interesting in that session. I thought we were
Jesus.
going to spend another 2 weeks brain dead.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm liking the way Fargrim plays.
Good.
That shield was crazy, man. Far out. Eldritch
Yeah,
Knights.
I know. Yeah,
Unreal.
that's basically my